on up 5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today. Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies. Nia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley, that is the CEO of Akerna, the best trade idea resource out there. Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. We are back at it per usual. It is noon Eastern. That means it is time for the Power Hour. What's up, guys? We are having an okay day today here. Let's throw the screen up here. All right, we'll point this out, right? You got SPY is green. You've got triple Qs are red. So it's sort of interesting, right? And I think speaks to a little bit of rotation. We saw this last week. We're seeing some follow through this week where it seems like a lot of these tech stocks are continuing to get hammered. Like let's pull up our Apple here. Apple down another 3% today. And some of that flight to safety is going on. So I'm curious about this one. I want to throw this one out to the chat, out to Zinger Nation, everybody out there. If you guys are green today, drop me the one in the chat. If you're red, drop me the 2. I'm curious how everybody is split. I am a little bit green today. We'll pull up the live portfolio in just a few minutes here, but we're slightly green. So, all right, guys, going to start today off the way that I start every single day, which is the point of the show, why we're spending these 120 minutes together every single day, which is that we want this to be the best trade idea resource out there. That's what we're going for. I've got 2 new ideas I'm going to be bringing to you guys today. But ideas are not just going to come from myself. They're not just going to come from Jason, who's going to be joining us at 1 o'clock. But most importantly, from Zinger Nation, that's all of you out there in the chat, hanging out with us, spending time with us, saying hi every day. So drop your ideas in there. But all right, guys, stocks that are on my list to talk about today. We're going to do the crypto stocks. We're going to talk about some of those crypto names. I want to talk about the China stocks, the Alibaba, JD.com, etc. Let's go through the big list of Chinese stocks. Fubo, Rocket, GameStop, of course. We could not forget those ones. So we will get to those guys today too. They're on the list. Other things coming up. So at 12:30 today, we're gonna have a really interesting guest. He's a part of sort of the EV supply chain, right? Especially on the battery side of things. So we see a lot of talk about lithium and the battery supply chain for EVs. We're gonna be interviewing somebody who's an executive at one of those companies to basically take us through the supply chain, where there's still money to be made, etc. At 1 o'clock, our friend Nick from Bull Trade Finder is going to be joining, and then 1:30 Eastern. Ripster, yes, that's right. Ripster is going to be back at it. There's our cash register for the day. Ripster's going to be joining the crew at 1:30 to talk some additional ideas. And of course, guys, today is Monday. We need to warm up. We need to stretch out a little bit, get going. I'm still a little sleepy, a little groggy. But we will be doing our chat challenge. That's where Zinger Nation is going head to head. Trying to compete, figure out who is the best stock picker in the chat. The winner this week gets, I don't know. What should the prize for the chat challenge be this week? You throw some ideas in the chat. We'll pick one of those ideas. But again, we'll be getting to that in just a little bit here. So all right, guys, how does that sound? And of course, I'll say one last thing. I'm going to start running through my list of tickers and my list of ideas to get the day started before we move on to our guests. But if you guys have any ticklers in particular you want us to talk about today, let us know and we'll get to them. But first things first, we could not start the day today if we did not first talk about GameStop, ticker GME. We all know that one well. Check this out. Here is a 2-day chart. I'm going to zoom us back out. Here's a 1-month chart in GameStop. We just about got to that 200 level again, which stopped us a week or I guess maybe 2 weeks now ago. GameStop on the run again, sort of serving as a little bit of the market hedge, but this time we actually have news on the stock. So let's take a look at that press release together that came out on GameStop this morning. Here it is. Ryan Cohen, founder of Chewy.com. He's been sort of like the savior of the stock, the person that's been getting everybody all fired up about this thing. So basically, Ryan Cohen Mr. Cohen is going to be leading a committee on the board that's going to basically be working on the e-commerce stuff. So the point of this committee, first and foremost, is going to be to appoint a CTO. Second one is they're going to be getting an e-commerce lead in on the business. There's a couple other things that they'll be doing, like they'll be talking about the new CFO transition and that sort of thing. But again, the big items that are pushing the stock up today, driving some more energy. Ryan Cohen, we've been waiting to hear for him. He's sort of one of the catalysts that really kicked off the GameStop support in the first place. He is now going to be leading a committee on the board that's announcing a CTO, looking for an e-commerce lead. We're going to get a lot more out of GameStop when earnings come around, which I don't think that we have that date yet. It's sometime in March. Let's see if we have a confirmed or an estimated date. All right, so right now, estimated date according to Benzinga pro.benzinga.com, 3/25, March 25th. Still a couple weeks away. Again, that's an estimated date. How many weeks is that? That's 3 weeks. That would be, oh my God, 2.5 weeks. All right, it could be before that, it could be after that, but again, that's what the Benzinga Pro team is estimating as the earnings date for GameStop. So obviously we're going to get some intel there, and there will be some volatility around that one. I'm curious. Is anybody long GameStop in the chat? If you are long GameStop, you're hitting this thing on the bullish side. Throw me the 1. If not, throw me the 2. I want to see if where the community is at on this one. I don't have a whole ton of an opinion. Right, when the momentum was ripping, of course, we always like to follow the momentum. The trend is your friend. That's something that we say on the show every single day, more or less. But we'll see. We're in this midday period. I'm telling you guys, the time when this stock trades, and I've said this ad nauseum, but the time when this stock gets really wild is like 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. That's your window. So hopefully you're in a brokerage that lets you trade then. But if you're really trying to play some of this volatility in GameStop, pretty much all of the highs that we've seen in this stock is it's like 5 a.m. ish, somewhere in that 4 to 7 a.m. Room. And you guys are about split. Okay. I like that. We're about 50-50 on the GameStop call. Something I will say is I'm really disappointed in the company that they haven't addressed anything, right? This is the first tidbit of news really, other than the CFO getting pushed out. But this is the first tidbit of news that we've gotten from the company during this whole ordeal, right? They never came out when the stock was rallying. We never heard from Ryan Cohen. And it's been a bummer. I don't totally blame them, because, what can they say? It would have been nice to get a strategy update, or something along those lines. But AMC this weekend, I don't know if you guys saw, if you missed it, the AMC CEO did come out, first one of these CEOs, as far as I know, to come out and address some of the energy going into the stock. He said he's like I'm all about it. He's like it's been awesome to get the support. I appreciate the community, and look at that, you've got AMC running again today. So shout out there. A little bit of bad news out of AMC. Disney had their biggest release of the year thus far. I know it's not far into the year, but their biggest release of the year thus far. It's Raya and the Last Dragon is what it's called. It's an animated movie. It only did 8.6 million across 2,050 theaters in the U.S. That's only $4,200 a theater. Doesn't really speak well to movie theaters as a whole. But again, I love that the AMC CEO came out this weekend, threw his support behind the community, and said, "Hey guys, appreciate it," because he is the first one who's actually had the balls or the willingness to go out and do that. So there's the deal there, guys. Let's talk about a couple of these other names. Rocket RKT. I am still, in fact, in this one. I did not sell any shares when we got that high climb up. If you guys recall, I'm long-term bullish on the stock, basically for their expansion outside of just mortgages. So Rocket, we'll recap it again. Wow, only 2 likes. Smash that like button there. Thank you, whoever threw that in there. See, I can't watch the likes all day. 27 likes. Still, hit the like button. Share the stream. Let's get this thing going. Come on, guys. I'm trying to fire it up on a Monday here. We were flying with ideas last week. Would it be helpful to recap all the new trade ideas we talked through on Friday? If so, drop me a 1 in the chat. If not, drop me a 2 and we'll keep going with new ones from today. But Rocket again, guys. The reason why I like this name is I see the machine that they built for mortgages, what's allowed them to be the biggest mortgage lender in the country. And I think that there's no reason they can't expand that to other financial services and even other services outside of that. So there's the deal there. That's why I like Rocket long term. We do have that $1.11 dividend. That's going to be Nosedive bouncing. That's sort of funny. We do have that $1.11 dividend that's going to be paid out in a couple of weeks here. So that's one of the reasons why I'm holding on to the stock. But again, I do like it long term. The fact that it's sitting $8 higher, $6 higher than it was 2 weeks ago, thrilled with that. The fact that I'm getting a special dividend, thrilled with that. But it's nice to see it holding up. I think there's a very realistic scenario, where the stock would be trickling back down. But some of these shorts, again, 40% of this stock was sold short. If some of those shorts are squeezed out, it makes sense that the stock sort of settles out at this higher price range here. And then let's do Fubo as well, and I'll get onto your guys' stocks and stop talking about mine. But Fubo, ticker FUBO, that's a trade that we made last week. We're still very slightly green in this one. I'll take you guys through the setup again and also why I like selling puts. So what we did is we sold the 29 strike puts in Fubo for $1.50. So that makes our break-even price on the stock $27.50. So if we would have just bought the stock outright, we would be down. Here, let me zoom in. So here's a 5-day chart on this one. I don't remember which day exactly we did it. Maybe it was around here. No, it was after. I don't know. The stock was maybe $35 or so, I believe, when we sold puts against us, making us synthetically long. If we would have gone out and just bought the stock outright, we would be down $6 a share right now. But because we chose to sell the 29 strike puts for $1.50, even though it makes us synthetically long the stock, we're still above our break-even price. Okay, we start losing money in this trade when the stock drops below $27.50. So we're still in that one. We'll see what happens. I mean, stock's down another 4% today, which really isn't bad for this name when you've got the NASDAQ down, what is it, 1.3%. Fubo's only down 4%. So it's a little bit of a wait and see. We might be looking to close this one within the next day or two. But there is the deal. Jeff Warren, you also like Rocket Zero in the same building of them? Yes, that's true. Spot on. But that lets me see some of what they got going on, and it's impressive stuff. I'll tell you guys, it is cool. It is impressive what they have going on there. But all right, let's move on to new ideas. So that was a little bit of a recap of stocks that are already moving, stocks that we talked about last week, stocks that we have positions on, new ideas for you guys. I'm telling you, I think that there's some opportunity in the Bitcoin stocks. Let's look at a Riot really quick. So here's a 5-day chart on Riot. Let's look at a Mara really quick. Here's a 5-day chart on Mara. If we want to look at some of these other ones, here's an SOS. You can see, we'll go back to Riot, but that's probably the biggest one, or IoT. All of these stocks got shaken out in a pretty serious way last week. So last week, Riot, let's see, went from $56 down to as low as, what is that, 34, right? That's a hell of a dump. Right now the stock's at 41. Here's what I think is interesting about these Bitcoin stocks. We talked about this last week, but I want to reiterate it because I think it's even more true right now. But what I think is interesting about these stocks is that they got hammered, but the price of Bitcoin didn't. These stocks sort of got caught up in the wave of, hey, we're selling everything. We're having this flight to safety that might still continue to go on and is the biggest risk to these stocks right now. But there also might be a little bit of an arbitrage opportunity, right? We now have the price of Bitcoin's increased, right? I last saw we were at about 51.5 in Bitcoin. These stocks are dependent on the price of Bitcoin. The higher Bitcoin is, the better these stocks do. And so because we saw that uptick in Bitcoin, or more or less last week, Bitcoin was holding flat. These stocks got hammered. Today, Bitcoin is higher. These stocks are still flat. So there might be some sort of an arbitrage opportunity there, guys. I'm not in any of the Riots or the Maras, the one that I own, and I'm not going to go through the whole pitch right now. VYGVF, Voyager Digital, is actually having a pretty nice day. Again, we've been in this one for quite a while. Do I read the comments? Yes. But check this out. Here, I'm gonna drop this one in the comments here in a second. Here. All right, I put out some updated research on Voyager Digital post earnings. So if you guys are in the stock or you're looking for an interesting crypto play, Here it is. It's lengthy. It's 12 posts in a row, but I'm going to drop the link in there for you guys, and we will check it out. Boom. All right, there we have it. So there's idea one of the day, and then we got more people asking to recap last week than people didn't. So we'll go through. We'll recap a couple of the ideas that were brought up last week. Second idea that I have for you guys: Chinese stocks. Chinese stocks across the board are getting hammered. So here's your Alibaba. Here's your JD.com. JD actually had news, so that's not a great example. Here's PDD. But across the board, your Chinese stocks today are getting hammered. Basically, not on any like hard news, like there's no new tariff news or trade news that's causing them to move. What's causing the Chinese stocks to get moved today? And somebody in the chat, they're asking about the Coinbase IPO. That is a great catalyst for Voyager Digital. If you go ahead and you click on that tweet stream, you'll see that in there. Yes, I can't wait for that. Voyager Digital is growing to be the largest holding in my portfolio. I may need to trim some back just because it's gotten so outsized, but that's gonna be great for that. But all right, back to the Chinese stock idea. They're getting hammered basically on rising rates. The same sell-off that we saw last week, right, where all of our tech stocks, all of our beloved tech stocks got absolutely smoked. And basically the reason that everybody was saying is, hey, we've got rising interest rates. That's bad for them, yada, yada. That's what happened in China last night. The Chinese indexes were down about 2.5% almost, right? Huge. I know somebody's saying the Chinese Microsoft hack. Yeah, but I'm telling you guys, that's not what's doing it. It's literally, they had the same freak out that we did last week of like, oh my God, interest rates are rising. We need to sell all of our tech stocks. That's why the Chinese names are getting hammered. And so, you know, if there may be some bargain shopping to do there. Check this out. I'm going to zoom us out. Here's a 1-year chart in Alibaba. All right, we're re-nearing these lows, right? When we lost Jack Ma, when we thought that Alibaba was in trouble with the Chinese government, we hit the stock then. We're not in it anymore. But we're re-nearing some of these lows. I'm not getting in this one yet just because I don't love to be a dip buyer. I like to see some of that momentum reverse, and that's my cue to get into it. I am considering selling some puts against the stock, somewhere right around this level, right? That previous line of support that we've had down there. That's about 215, 210, somewhere in there. So Baba. Personally, I'm on sort of the wait and see fence. I'm curious if you guys like Alibaba right now. Throw the 1 in the chat. If not, throw the 2. That's the power of Zinger Nation. That's the power of the community we have here. We can crowdsource these things. We can throw the ideas out. But this is one that's absolutely on my watch list this week. I'm not going to hit it yet, but I'm gonna be sort of on wait and see mode. And again, 1 if you like it, 2 if you don't. Curious where everybody is at here. And somebody in the chat's asking about Neo. Let's do Neo and Apple really quick, because we've had some questions about them. Neo. So same thing I'm going to say about this stock as I do about Baba. This is a stock that I love to hate historically. I tried to take a crack at this thing on the short side a few times, got ripped out every single time. Never made money on any of those trades. Wow. All right. Most people don't like Baba right here. Okay. That's interesting. Again, close on my watch list. I'm not hitting it right now. If I see momentum reverse in Alibaba, I absolutely am going to hit it. So we'll be talking about that one throughout the week, and maybe taking a position there. All right, but Neo, I don't want to catch a falling knife on this thing, right? Look at how many red days we've had. These are all red candles here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. So 9 out of the 10 trailing days in Neo are red. I don't love that. I don't want to be the one to say, because we could have said the same thing back here, right? Here's why I don't like to catch these falling knives. Let me zoom in, right? The stock had this whole fleet of red, right? And then it had a couple more red days. I mean, we could have set up here, hey, it was just red for 5 days in a row. I'm going to buy the stock. Now we're down $20 a share. We could have set it back here, right? I just had, hey, I had a couple red days in a row. Now I'm going to buy the stock. We don't know when the momentum is stopping, when the party is up. And so I personally am not hitting this one right now. Again, if we see that momentum reverse, we get several days of turnaround here, right? Then I'll hit it. I will keep a tight stop on it if I'm getting long it, because look at, we had the fake out here. Whoop. Nope, that didn't work. So that's my opinion on Neo. an Apple. Somebody's asking about Apple AAPL. Tom Nash, shout out Tom Nash, good friend of the show, actually pitched Apple as a long position last week. Basically, his thesis is, hey, Apple got caught up in all of this tech stock selling, but Apple doesn't fit in on those. So somebody's saying go short it for the show. Should we do it? Should we hit a Neo short for the sake of the show? I am known to do that. All right. God, I hate getting dared because I can't resist them sometimes. All right. Maybe we'll do that if we get peer pressured into it. But all right. Tom Nash, he's basically saying Apple got hammered with the tech stock sell-off. The thing about Apple is that it's like the most cash-producing organization in the entire world. So he went long this one, but I don't have any strong opinion right now. I do hold some Apple with the stock outright. I own a shit ton of it because I own a lot of SPY, right? I own several hundred SPYs. I own several hundred QQQs. Apple, biggest component of each of those. So there we go. All right, somebody's saying 100 likes and do it. We got to open a little more than that. All right, if we get to 150 likes, we'll take a crack at Neo on the short side. Live on the show. No, it's not a paper trading account. It's my live account. We throw it up there. There's the deal. So if I'm doing it, I'm throwing a bounty out to you guys for it. But all right, I just talked for 22 minutes straight. Oh my God, my voice is running out. I'm going to take a break in a second here, but first things first, let me recap you a couple of the ideas that we had on the show last week because you guys asked for it. So we had Jonah Lupton on, awesome investor. He shared with us two of his high conviction ideas. I'll throw you the tickers DMTK, Delta Mike Tango Kila. The other one is Celsius. It's like an energy drink company. Right now we're Bang sponsored, but ticker on Celsius, Charlie Echo Lima Hotel, CELH. Those are two ideas. Throwing back out to you guys from last week. I'm not going to walk through the whole theses right now, but because you can go back and watch the episode. But in short, DMTK Denmark, they make a patch. So instead of having to do skin biopsies, they make a patch that does it for you. It's a way better patient experience, etc. So that's why he liked that one. And then Celsius beverage company sees them getting a ton more market share. So that's why he liked that one. And CELH, I'm going to advise, I believe, as earnings this week. Let's pull it up on our trusty Benzinga Pro. Again, guys, it's pro.benzinga.com. All right, 3 days from now, Celsius is reporting earnings. So that's on Thursday before market open. Let's see. Do we hit those 150 likes to short Neo? Nope, it doesn't look like it. We'll let it go on for another minute or so. I've had 3 losing trades trying to short Neo now. Let's make it a 4th. All right. But okay, guys, it's Monday. You know what time that is. I need to rest my voice for a second. So let's go ahead. But before we hop into our guests, and again, guys, I'm going to preview who we've got coming on later today. 1:30. We're going in reverse order. 1:30. Ripster. Shout out Ripster. Coming back onto the Power Hour. Favorite of the chat. 1 o'clock, Nick from Bull Trade Finder is going to be giving us some swing trades. And at 12:30, we're going to be talking some lithium battery EV supply chain. So a ton ahead of us. But all right, let's go ahead. Let's do this chat challenge. All right, producer Aaron, can you get the link in the chat, please? Can you drop it in there for me? Producer AB, how can you not mention F? Ford up 4.5%. All right, let's look at Ford really quick while we wait for producer AB there. Ford, ticker Ford, Foxtrot. All right, I didn't talk about Ford because I get yelled at for just covering the same stocks over and over again, but I'm going to do it because somebody asked me. Ford is my 2021 stock of the year. We are, I don't want to say balls deep in that because it's not appropriate, but we are very long this stock. We own the stock outright. We own the leaps. When the stock was $8, we bought the freaking $12 calls in this one. Let's go. We are nearing $13 in Ford. We are at a 3-year high on the stock. Let's go, baby. We're running it up. Let me zoom the chart in a little bit. All right, here's a 1-month chart. Look at this. We got stopped right around this level twice before, so let's blow past this. Let's get Ford into the 13, guys. If you want to help me rally up Ford, let's do it. We'll get the thing cooking. But all right, somebody called me out for not doing Ford. So there's my Ford spiel, guys. Still long the stock. The reason why I like this name, again, is because I think they're going to have some of this EV energy. They have their EV platform rolling out this year. GM's up 4.5% too. I also own GM. Let's go. I have both of them. But Ford, the reason why we like this stock is because the EV platform rolling out this year. They've also signaled to us that they're going to be spending a ton of money on marketing their EV platform. So I want to get some of what I call that EV energy in there, guys. That's what we're going for on Ford. 3 more to short Neo, I see. But all right, let's hit our chat challenge. Adding this sheet to the stream here. I'm gonna Zinger Nation's going head to head every single week. What is the best performing stock of the week going to be? Boom! All right, there you go. There you have it. In the chat there, chat challenge. We're trying to figure out who is the best stock picker out there. I just spammed the link in there, so get in here, guys. We've got 5 minutes to do this thing. I'm gonna take a break. Let you guys fill this out. Give my voice a rest. Producer Rohan is going to explain to you how it works and what the challenge of the week is, which is the best performing stock of the week.
What's going on, everyone? It's producer Rohan here. Let me turn on my camera. Or I guess, no, you know what? You can just look at the chart as you guys fill this in. So most of you guys probably know the rules with this one, but we're looking at the best performing stocks of the week. You guys have to put in your stocks, and the one with the closest or the highest performing stock is going to win. And we have yet to decide on the actual prize for this week. But you guys put your ideas in the chat, and we'll pick one. And that is the chat challenge, folks.
Wait, Rohan, ask them if they want Benzinga Pro, swag.benzinga.com. They want shares of Ford.
What do you guys look? You guys want some F? Some shares of F?
Sorry, I'm covering it up. Hold on.
I don't really know how to share shares. How do you send people shares of a stock, or do you just give them the money for it?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. That's the point, right? So
that's what Zinger Nation is all about. I'm sure that we have members of the community that will tell us how to figure that one out.
Absolutely. So, folks, you let us know what you want as a prize. Do you just want some merch? We got some pretty sweet merch. You know, swag.benzinga.com. Or do you want some shares of a stock? Let us know how we're going to make it happen, and we'll make it happen.
All right. How are we looking on our chat challenge, Mr. Rohan? Do we have any interesting tickers in there? Again, we're going for the best performing stock of the week.
We got a GME in there, so someone's behind it. Let's see. CCIV, LGHL. I'm not as familiar with that one. So, what do you think of that one?
Wow, somebody's got CCIV. That's aggressive.
NSPR. I know they're talking about that on biotech with Vivi. So, maybe getting some gains there. I remember she was saying it was kind of hit or miss. So, that one will be interesting. Luke, you should put some of the music on. All
right, hold on. I'm setting this up to hit this Neo short. But we can't do music or Mitch Hodge is going to yell at us.
Oh, man. Do we get flagged for that Price is Right thing?
We got flagged for some copyright violation. It's bullshit, in my opinion, but we did. All right. Is it time for it to come to an end with the chat challenge?
I think so. Let's give them a countdown. You got 10 seconds left to put in your stocks, folks. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. Time's up, folks.
Boom. There it is. We are closed. Producer Rohan, can you mute yourself? I'm just going to get a crazy echo if not. But all right, guys, there it is. We're closed. Chat challenge closed out for the week. I hope you all dropped in your tickers. I hope you all smashed the like button. Let's see. Are we at this 150 yet? If so, let's take a shot at Neo. All right, we hit it. 156. Let's do this thing. We will always succumb to peer pressure on this show. Last time I succumbed to peer pressure was when you guys told me to buy GameStop, and I accidentally made 40 grand off of that GameStop trade. So the peer pressure trade is on. The peer pressure trade is working. I've never been peer pressured into making 40 grand before. But all right, here we have it. Here's the live portfolio, the one that we look at every single day on this show, guys. Scrolling you through it, we're having a decent day today. Here's all the stocks that we own, all the positions. We haven't talked about Bank of America in a while yet, but we are killing it on this Bank of America trade. We bought those calls several weeks ago. Average price 181. We're at 586 on them now, so it's a nice little three bagger. But all right, here's the live portfolio, guys. Let's look at this Neo option chain. We're not short in the stock outright. I'll tell you that much. Let's see this option chain. Let's see the chart. All right, so here's a 1 month chart. All right, so we've got lows at $32. Let's see some of this option pricing here. All right, give me a strike price on Neo. Let's call it a month out. Throw me your strike prices for this Neo hit. All right, so here's the April monthlies, 39 days. I would imagine the stock has enough liquidity to do. God, these are expensive. It's not horrible. All right, what was that low price on the chart, Rohan? $30. 40, 37 and a half, 30, 26, 34, 20. All right, you guys are all over the place. 40s. No, we're going out of the money on this thing. It's no fun if we're in the money on these puts when we hit them. Let's go. We're running out of the money on this Neo trade. Oh, wow, that was a weird sound. All right. If we do the 34s, we need to break below that 32 price. Are there even 34s? They have every dollar? Yeah, they do. All right, we're gonna do 34s. Here's why I'm picking the 34s. So we do the 34 put on the stock. It's gonna cost us $3. That low price there is 32. So we are making money on this thing when the stock gets down to $31. That's our break-even price on this thing. So basically we're counting on it to fall below this low and keep running. This clearly is a decent line of support here. So we could get a bounce off it. If we get a bounce off it, we're screwed. Trade goes out the window. Falls below there. We just need to fall another buck, and then we are making money on the trade. So let's hit it. Normally we sell puts. This time we're actually buying one. I'm only doing one contract for you guys. Sorry. But there it is. All right. Orders out there. You see it. You cannot say I don't deliver for Zinger Nation, and we are filled, baby. All right. So ideas we threw out today. Again, we threw out DMTK, Celsius, Bitcoin stocks, some of the Chinese stocks, and there we just took a crack at Neo. But without further ado, guys, educational resources regarding options, yes. Producer Aaron, producer AB, we'll talk about those. Snap, we'll try to get to Snap later on in the show. Smash that like button. Share this stream, guys. And without further ado, I want to bring our next guest on here with us. Let's get a drum roll going. Let's get a buzzer. All right, Dan Nye, welcome to the Power Hour, man. It is awesome to have you here.
Hey, it's great to be here. I love your show, Luke. You put so much excitement in the stock market. It's fantastic.
Thanks, man. We say that this is a stock market show that has more ideas and more gimmicks than any other stock market show out there. That's what we're going for.
So, shall I just give you a quick background on the drivers behind kind of the electric vehicles and lithium-ion batteries? Is that the best way to go?
Yeah, I think so. And guys, if you're just tuning in, I previewed this a little bit earlier, but basically, Dan works in the world of supplying EVs and batteries, and he's basically going to take us through the supply chain, right? There's a lot more than just throwing out battery. And saying, okay, I'm going to buy batteries. He's going to take us through the supply chain. I love the chat there. Dan, the EV guy. All right. So Dan, the floor is yours. Again, I think it's a super interesting market. We sort of know it at a high level, I think, as a group, but I would really appreciate if you could take us through the intricacies of the EV supply chain and where we might be able to find some opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. So big picture, the market for EVs is exploding. So basically, you look in how many cars produced a year. It's about 90 million across the globe. So in 2019, 2.2 million EVs were produced. That rose to 3.1 million in 2020. By 2025, it's going to be 10 million. So you've got a big market. There's huge drivers for the materials, for the producers, for the battery makers. So I'm just going to walk you through who could really benefit from that. So if I just go back to how a lithium-ion battery cell works, I'll put it So I'll make it real simple. So basically, a lithium battery cell, which is the core to all kind of electric vehicles. Imagine just two ribbons of metal. One ribbon is a combination of lithium, cobalt, and nickel. The other ribbon is a combination of copper and graphite. You roll it up like
okay.
a
Wait.
Swiss
So hold
roll.
on. Wait. Let me just. It sounds like we've got four materials that go into the batteries. You said it's lithium, copper, nickel, and graphite. Is that right?
Yeah. If you look on one side of the ribbon, you got nickel, cobalt, and lithium. And the other side, you've got graphite, and that's on a base of copper. You stick them together. You roll them up like a jelly roll. I think it's a jelly roll in the US. They call it Swiss roll in Europe.
Okay.
And that forms your battery, and it's about the same size as a AA battery. Now you take 7,000 of those and you stick them together, and that's what makes a Tesla battery cell. So it's a bunch of these small cells linked together. So the key thing is, how do you play it? And there's numerous ways you can play it. You can play it from the angle of the manufacturers. You can play it from the angle of the materials producers. You can play it from the angles of the battery management companies. So I'm going to go through kind of different ways you can play the game. So just to kind of give you, magnitudes of material that go into a typical 60 kilograms of lithium, 20 kilograms of cobalt, and 20 kilograms of nickel. And that gives you kind of the core metals to play the lithium battery value chain.
Okay, Dan, and I hate to ask you to do this, but we lost you for a minute there. Sorry, but could you run through that again?
Oh yeah, for sure. So if you look what a typical Tesla battery consumes, you're looking at 70 kilograms of graphite, 60 kilograms of lithium, 20 kilograms of cobalt, and 20 kilograms of nickel. So the way to play it is you look along that material value chain, and I'll go through some stock picks, and you look at the producers of those materials, the battery makers, and also the battery management companies.
Yeah, and this underscores why I wanted to do this segment, and I think it's especially important for all of us out there, especially those of us investing in EV stocks. Shout out Ford. It's my stock of the year. Let's go. But it's like we talk about lithium, right? As a group, as like a retail investor group, we talk about lithium, but we don't talk about these other materials, these other parts of the supply chain. And again, if you're just joining us, that underscores why I think this segment is important. And Dan, all right, I'm gonna turn it back to you and keep going and explain it for us.
Sounds good. So let's actually take the battery makers. So the battery makers are the guys who actually put all these materials together and sell them on to Tesla or to Ford. So basically, there's four big makers out there. There's Panasonic, BYD, LG Chemical, and Clarios. Panasonic is one that I think is really attractive right now. It's trading at 7.5 times EBITDA. 14 times earnings. It's got deals with Tesla, with Toyota, and it pays a dividend, so you got time to wait. If you look at the others, BYD is owned by Buffett. Buffett owns 8.5%. The stock did nothing for about 5 years, and now it's up 4 times in the last 6 months. So I think it's one to wait in that one. It's trading at 72 times earnings. LG Chemical sells into General Motors. It's a Korean stock. I'm not sure you're interested in Korean stocks. Liquidity is not that great. Clarios was owned by Johnson Controls. Clarios is going public later on this year, so keep an eye out for it.
And is that a part of Johnson Controls still now, or is it already spun out and then it'll have an IPO later this year?
It was sold to Johnson Controls for $13.5 billion last year. Brookfield Asset Management, who bought it, is looking at floating it for $20 billion. So they're going to have a nice turn in almost.
Yeah. Nice $7 billion 1 year flip. Okay.
That's not bad. I'll take that every day.
Yeah, not bad. Okay.
So let's look at some of the materials. Okay, so let's look at lithium, which comprises about 60 kgs of any battery cell. There's two real ways to play it. There's Albemarle, which is the elephants, and there's Livent, both US traded stocks. I think they've had big runs so far. Livent's trading at about 116 times earnings. Albemarle's 41 times. I think you wait on those until they come back to more to actually more generous levels. So looking at cobalt nickel now, just to give you an indication.
So those are the battery plays, and now you're going to get into the cobalt and nickel plays.
Yes, so Albemarle and Livent are both lithium plays. So they make lithium that goes into batteries. So the other materials I talked about were cobalt and nickel. So if you look at the plays that actually you can play cobalt and nickel, there's Glencore, which is the biggest cobalt producer in the world. Very attractive multiple, 6 times earnings, pays a 3% dividends. Now, interestingly enough, most of the world's cobalt comes from the Democratic Republic of Congo. So extremely tight supply. The remainder comes from China. So it's a very dynamic, interesting area. So Glencore and the cobalt nickel, I think, is interesting. Vale, which actually has a large portion of its earnings from
and
cobalt.
Dan, if you have the tickers ready, can you give them to us as you're going through it? Or if not, producer AB, drop them in the chat, please.
Oh, for sure. Vale, which is VALE, 6.3 times earnings, 7% dividend yield. I think a great way to play it also. Now, the spherical graphite market, graphite represents about 70 kilograms of weight in a typical Tesla battery, typical kind of lithium-ion battery. So, for just an over kind of push on the business that I'm involved with, Earth Asia, which has changed its name to Graphics Group, is I think one of the major producers of spherical graphite, which is a special form of graphite that goes in batteries, listed in Hong Kong and also listed in the US. And so have a look at that one. I think it's a great company to look at. There's a couple of tangential ways to play this also. The semiconductor companies are particularly interesting. So we have all these battery cells together. You've got to manage them and manage their voltage across. And then if you get a bad cell, you need to shut it down. So Sensata, which is a US listed semiconductor company, makes some management chips that actually manage the battery cells. $8.6 billion market cap. It looks great technically. And if you're looking at a pair trade, you may want to look at MELE, which is Melexis in Europe, which actually is a similar sensor manufacturer, but has very little content in EVs. So you want to play an EV player. ST is the player on the semiconductor side. If you want to balance it with a pair trade, look at MELE on the short side.
All right. So Dan, I didn't even preview you with this, but the whole point of the show, beyond sort of the gimmicks that we like to do and some of the charades, is to make this the idea place. That's what we're going for. And you just dropped us like 20 stocks, all a part of that EV supply chain in like 5 minutes. That was pretty impressive.
So Luke, if you're a long-term holder, I mean, there's going to be volatility in this sector, as you know. It's going bonkers.
Yep.
But if you've got the fortitude to hold a basket of these stocks long-term, you're going to be in a great position. Because you imagine you've got a situation where EVs are 4% of the global supply. Fast forward 20 years, it's going to be 50 or 60. So every single one of these names should participate in that tailwind.
Absolutely. And if you had to pick one part of the supply chain which you think is least appreciated thus far, what would it be?
So I think if you go down to some of the miners, the producers of the material, and that includes Glencore, Vale, Earth Asia Graphics Group. So those are so if you look, actually, those guys have been underappreciated. So so the companies that are closer to the top of the food chain, so Tesla, NIO, some of the big battery makers like BYD. So the market is kind of buying these companies that are at the top of the food chain, and the guys all the way along the food chain haven't caught up yet.
Yep. NIO price update, $37. we just took a crack at that one right before you joined, Dan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw, and some of those. So yeah, and Tesla. Tesla has a big lead. I mean, it's going to be tough to catch up to it. It's an expensive stock, but it's leading the market. And
I mean, so you're in the industry. So let me ask you this. I mean, so some of these traditional automakers, and let's get some charts up here on the screen. But like here's a Tesla. We're gonna pull up a 1-year chart on this thing. I mean, it's obviously been an absolute tear over the past 12 months. But some of these traditional automakers, like in the U.S., we've got a Ford and a General Motors and those sorts of companies. I mean, how much of a shot do they have? How developed are their technologies actually? Etc.
Well, if you look at the battery technology, first of all, Tesla is in a very close relationship with Panasonic, which is probably the leading technology. And in fact, Panasonic has invested more in the Gigafactory than Tesla has.
Wow.
So they are on the bleeding edge of it. They're on the absolute bleeding edge. Now, where I think, and eventually they'll catch up, but where Tesla is really far ahead is its network of superchargers. And so just living in Europe and driving an electric car myself, I couldn't imagine not using a supercharger network. And it will take years for the other automakers to catch up. So Tesla has a strong lead. I mean, whether its valuation is right, that's the big question. But it certainly is way ahead of the peer group.
Yeah, and guys, check this out. So again, this is a 1-year Tesla chart we have up on the screen. Each candle here is 1 day. I actually looked this up this morning. So I don't know if everybody recalls, but on May 1st, 2020, Elon Musk tweeted that the share price of Tesla is overvalued, that the stock is overvalued. And I was like, I was looking to see what was the price of Tesla when he tweeted that. And check this out. It was all the way down here, $150. Where we got as high as 900 and are still at 600. So we're still 4x when Musk tweeted that it was overvalued. Does he still feel that way? I have no idea. What was he thinking when he tweeted that? I think none of us actually have any idea. But sort of for fun, that's what the price was when he threw that tweet out last year. And then Dan, I would be too greedy. We would all be too greedy if you just took us through all these tickers, all this supply chain, and you didn't take a chance to tell us about your company, what you guys are doing, etc.
Oh, great, perfect. So I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for Graphics Group, and we just changed our name. Previously, we were Earth Asia International. So our symbol is on the pink sheet, it's ETIHY, in Hong Kong 6128. So what we do, we make a special form of graphite called spherical graphite. The graphite is used by the battery makers to make their graphite anode. So our material comprises about 70 kilograms of every big battery for a Tesla or Tesla similar. So we're in the value chain, and we're producing about 10,000 metric tons a year. We've just announced expansion that we're going from 10,000 to 40,000 over the next 3 years. And to give you an indication of the market size, about 200,000 metric tons of graphite are produced per year, and currently we're about 10,000 of that.
Awesome. All right, Dan. Well, thank you very much for coming and hanging out with us. It was a blast. Again, I think this conversation is so important because we see so much energy going into these EV manufacturers, right? The companies that are actually building the calls. We hear a lot of talk about lithium. It's like that's the only material that us or a lot of retail investors at least are familiar with. So I appreciate you taking us through the whole supply chain. And again, somebody in the chat's asking what's the ticker of your company? Can you give that to us one more time, please?
Yeah, for sure. It's ETIHY. It's Echo Tango India Hotel.
There we go. Awesome. Peter in the chat helping us out with that ticker. So Dan, thank you very much for joining the Power Hour. Awesome having you on. And again, hopefully, guys, I said at the top of the show, call us out if we're not delivering the ideas. And we just delivered them. And Dan, do you have a Twitter handle or any other way for folks to stay in touch?
I'll drop in the chat.
All right, perfect. He's going to put it in the chat there for us. So, all right. How was that, guys? Let's get a little round of applause for Dan. Again, it's Monday. We're trying to warm up. You know, you're at home, clap. You know, get the blood flowing through your fingers a little bit. You know, it's okay to clap by yourself. Is it a little weird to clap when you're by yourself? Yes, it's a little weird. But you know, you can go ahead and do it. So, all right. But before I pass it off to Mr. Raznick and Spencer Israel, couple of things to preview at 1:00 ET. Our good friend Nick, Bull Trade Finder, he's going to be telling us about some swing trades that he has on, doing some technical analysis on those. So more ideas inbound. And then at 1:30, favorite of the chat, Ripster. Yes, Rippy is back at it with us, guys. So he's going to be joining us at 1:30 Eastern. If you guys have any tickers for us to look at, put them in the chat. I've got a couple more minutes here. And I'm going to go ahead, pick the first one for us to take a peek into. And I bet you know what it is. Chart up on the screen. There we go. All right, let's zoom this one in. So here's a 1 year. Here's our 2-day chart on GameStop. And that is actually a pretty decent looking chart. While Dan was chatting, we broke above that $200 resistance level. That's where the last rally a week, 2 weeks ago got stopped out. But check that out. We're sitting right around that $200 level now. Keep going, baby. I love it. Again, we talked about the news a little bit. If you're just joining us, we did get some real tangible news out of GameStop today. Basically, Ryan Cohen, savior of the stock, favorite of the crew. Ryan Cohen leading a committee on the board to select the new CTO and somebody to lead the e-commerce division. Let's do another one. Ford, I just want to see where that one's at. Sorry, sort of selfish. Come on, Ford. Get to $13, Mr. Ford. Ticker F. That's our stock of the year. It's been good for us so far. If we look at this year to date, when we actually got into it in December, but that year to date is beautiful on Ford, $8.50 to $13. PLTR. Let's get Palantir. Palantir. Nothing super exciting. Chart of Palantir sort of looks like NASDAQ for these past few days. Here's sort of the 5-day chart on Palantir. Holding up okay. I mean, the fact that the stock's only down 1.75% when you've got the NASDAQ's down. Oh, NASDAQ has come back. NASDAQ's down 0.5%. It was down about 1.3% when we started the show. But again, the fact that Palantir is only down 2% on a day when NASDAQ's down 0.5%, that's fine. No strong opinion on this one way or another. We've talked about it before, but I do really like this stock for the long term. No super strong opinion on it. All right, what else do we have? What other tickers should we cover? Should I have one more? Oh, I already forgot. Neo. Let's do a Neo check-in. Zoom in. We're zooming in. Here's the 1-day chart of Neo. You know, no crazy action since we hit this thing. Again, guys, y'all peer pressured me. I did it. Smash the like for if not for Dan, then for my peer pressure on getting into Neo. Somebody saying sell puts on Palantir. I did. I sold the 24 strike puts on Palantir and I got to sign the stock. So I'm still above the break even on it, just barely. I'm pretty much at break even on it. I think it's 23.50-ish or so is our break even. So we're pretty much right at that line. But I did sell puts against Palantir when it was out $30. Got to sign the stock, and so now I hold the stock. But yeah, Neo just sort of hanging out. And let's do one more. Snappy boy, SNAP. Snapchat. All right. We got a nice steady downturn in Snapchat. Here's only a 1-day chart. Let's zoom this out. Here's a 1-month chart. Not pretty. If I had to give an opinion on this one way or another, I don't like it. I'd want to see some of that momentum reverse, right? When you can look at a chart like this, a Snapchat, where obviously we're giving up some ground, then you compare it to the same 1-month chart on Ford, right? This Ford chart looks a lot prettier. Ford's sitting right at this line where it keeps getting held at. We have some sellers right before 13. So there's the deal there. And Mr. Israel Spencer, I'm going to bring you back onto the stream. There you go. What's up, man?
Let me check my mic. How's that? What's up?
Oh my God, much better.
What's up?
All right, Spencer. So. Oh, and we got Jason here, Mr. Raznick, hanging out in the
now
studio.
It's a party.
Too.
Now it's a party.
Yeah. So you might get kicked off. But we got our friend. There he is, Mr. Raznick. How's it going? Hi. Ford, $13. Let's go. We hit Neo today. We talked some Chinese stocks. We talked some Bitcoin stocks. It's about there. 1280. Getting
Not
there.
13.
And Jason, you got to rewind. You would have loved this last segment. So we had somebody on from the he basically works for as a part of one of the mining companies for EV supply chain, and took us through the whole EV supply chain and how much of each metal is used in the batteries, the different stocks that are in each of them. So it was a really cool segment. We didn't get enough likes for it, but it was really cool.
That is crazy because I was literally about to say. So I met a guy this weekend. I met him before. He's at. In fact, my microphone's bad. Let me know. I'll switch to the computer. He's an EV battery expert. We're talking graphene. We're talking the supply chain. We're talking silicon to replace graphene. A whole thing. I went over this whole thing with him, and that's what you guys just did. Basically, you're saying?
Yep, exactly. Like down to there's this many kilograms of graphene, this many kilograms of lithium, this many kilograms of copper in a Tesla battery. It was cool.
Wow.
And yeah, your mic is not great. It sounds like you're calling into an old school phone line. Like you're calling into your local AM radio station.
How about, is this better?
Oh my God. There we go.
Much.
We just jumped 2 decades forward. Much
So
better.
where does that guy work? Where does that guy work?
So he works for one of the mining companies. The ticker was dropped in the chat. I don't remember it off the top of my head. It trades OTC.
Got it. This
But all
guy.
right, I got a hot. So I'm gonna pass it over to you. All right.
All right. And I have a guest here, I think.
Yep, you got Mr. Nick from Bull Trade Finder at 1, and then 1:30. Ripster Rippy's coming back on with us. I got you up to 1,000 people almost. Let's keep it rolling.
How'd you get me up so much?
We've been flying. The ideas have been flying. We probably did literally 24 stock ideas in this first hour. I'm about to lose my voice.
Voyager's up 6%.
Let's go. I did some deep dive on Voyager this weekend, but all right.
ASO is up too, which I don't even know what the heck that is, but I know I own it. Academy Sports Not Doors. I own options up 70% today. Not sure why, but I own it's up 70% of my account. Don't know why, but all right. What up, guys? How are you doing? How was your weekend? How was life? We got interesting markets. You don't have clarity either way on the markets. You really don't. Is it going to be, NASDAQ going up, Dow going? I mean, obviously the Dow is going up, and I mentioned it, guys. You know what else is up today? Eli. Oh yeah. So Academy Sports and Outdoors, it's up 11%. Look, remember I talked about the luxury travel stocks? Marriott is up again. So I like that. Gun sales and sport equipment. Yep. So is SWBI. I hosted that clubhouse. That was Chris. He recommended that. Marriott's up 2.91%. 2.91%. So I still think you're going to see some more action on Marriott for sure. I do. I don't think it's going to end, but I'm looking for a little bit more luxury, luxury travel. I mean, you guys know I own Save in a big way, SAVE. All right, let me bring on Bull Trade Finder right now. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Just hold your horses, all. I gotta do my thing. I gotta do my thing. All right, here he is. How are you today?
How you doing, Jason?
Good. So what are you doing in the markets today?
Nothing much. I mean, the only trade that I've truly got into and I've played a couple times is OPGN. And
OPGN. Okay. Do you want to share charts or anything?
Yep, I could do that right now. One moment. Let's get this up. How about you? Have you done anything, Jason? Any opening trades or anything?
Yeah. It's OPGN. Whoa, up 87%. You bought this on Friday?
No, today. I day traded it around 3 times so far today.
Why are we moving like this?
Good question. I mean, hold on, let me double check. I truly didn't even look for news. I just saw the volume, the momentum in it, and I just followed. By the way, is my screen sharing or no?
Not yet. You have to. I'll make it share.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so you can see my screen now in the charts.
Yeah, they had a study out, a diagnostic study on peer
Okay.
review pneumonia panel. Yep, so it's there.
Okay.
I see it. I see it. I see it.
So originally I entered this one earlier in the day, somewhere around the I believe it was like 320 range over here. I sold it actually right at around 380. I think it hit 395. Kind of seems like we're building an ascending triangle here. I gave another small trade in between this dip at around 335 to like 350. And now we've been in since around 340 and just holding here. So I'm looking for the breakout of this ascending triangle. Probably, you can move this line up a couple of cents to this 385 range. Looking for a breakout for new high days over 395 and into $4. And the reason why I'm in this trade is one, well, now I honestly didn't even look for the news, but there is news. And just the volume and the momentum all day. And it's built a pretty strong pattern, higher lows all day. So it's been very strong throughout the trading day so far, 4 hours in.
Keep it going, man. Go to the next stuff. You have control. I muted myself, man. Keep it going.
Okay, my bad.
No, it's all good.
Long term, just gonna stay with this one stock too. I mean, I'm gonna stay with this one until we hit that 15 to 20 range. I know Ripster's coming on. He's probably gonna talk about this name. But if he doesn't, I'll definitely go over it right now. I have a lot of lines here, a lot of demand zones below, a lot of supply zones above where resistance is, and this is a long-term play for growth. Fits into the trend of APPS, MGNI, some same things that I usually say on here. And like I said, we're waiting for the earnings that are supposed to come out this week or next week. Some dates that are being named for this week are March 11th and the 12th, and next week being the 17th and the 18th. I'm waiting for a true, date from them, but they also stated it would be in March, so it's got to be, somewhere in this time frame here. And we have a lot of volume accumulation over the past couple of months. And like I said, this is a growth name. This is something that I'm holding long term, and I'm looking for that $15 to $20 range. And it's been holding pretty well on this trend line here, and building supports now in the 550 to 6 range, and just went right above that demand zone on Friday at 533. And I would, if you want to start a position in this one, I think getting in under 6 is probably good, probably around the 580 range if you could wait that long, and hopefully if it comes back to that area at least. But if you really wanted to start a position, start very small, under $6, and you could build a position there. Or you could just truly wait till after earnings. Now I'm going to go into, actually, let me pull up one last thing for this one. So on the weekly, we have a major, let me just pull this out one second. Let me hide this. Like a basically 2-year cup and handle from 2019 of April and May, going all the way, obviously, now into March of 2021. It seems like we have a 2-year strong cup and handle, and we're trying to build a handle here sitting in this 550 to 6 range. And we did have a nice pullback off that. So that's another good thing technical wise on this chart, other than the fundamentals, that it seems to be a pretty good setup chart for a move with the growth that is coming to this name. Now we're going to go into Palantir, another name that I really like here. And we'll go into a daily chart. And I'm going to get rid of these lines right here because they no longer do anything for me. Oops. And so what I like here is basically another long-term name. Good buying area in this 18 to 23 area. You could start a position up here, see if it gets a little bit lower, but Friday was a pretty strong, hammer candle right here. So unsure if it will go lower in the next couple of days unless the market indeed drops lower itself. And that's why I started adding into this position for the long term here, looking for a move back up into the 30s and 40s over the next couple of months and into the end of the year. And I'm looking for, a possible 1 to 2 year hold going into the 50 plus range. So looking to double my money on this one for over the next year. I
Hey,
really
Nick.
like the name.
Oh, go ahead, Ron.
Hey Nick, just quick question.
Yep.
I think you might have accidentally tweeted out the wrong link. We have some random people joining our StreamYard. Could you just pull that one down?
Oh, did I really? I apologize. Yes, I could do that.
No worries. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I did.
Uh-oh.
My original link was the correct one. I redid it and sent the wrong one. So my fault on that.
Oh, Lordy.
But yeah, long term here, and one of your good friends that you brought up the other day, Jason, Kathy Woods, has been repeatedly buying this one. So it's very interesting to see what she truly thinks on that one. And she continues to buy in these areas. So it also gives me a factor in my head that I want to add to my position in this area as well.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And lastly, another name that I like here is Fubo. So, this one's a little tricky, and truly the past two names that I said, PLTR and FUBO, are kind of what you might want to consider cult stocks. Everyone knows about them. Everyone trades them. And, they will really, trick you into these moves, really, wait on it as long as possible. And then they'll just drive the stock price up before you could get back in. They could get stops on you on all these names. And this is a pretty strong trend line that's been holding for the past, since November, truly. And we're at that trend line right now. And I've started positions here actually in the 30 range, probably around this 35 area. And I'm willing to add all the way up until this 23, 25 range. And if we start to get under 20, that's where I probably close this position for the long term. And, truly, I think adding at this area right here around 25 to 29 is a good area. Like I said, just add small, start a position small if you really like it. And the reason is, the streaming industry is huge. Look at Roku, look at Netflix, where they've gone. The sports betting industry as well, DraftKings and Penn, PENN, so Penn Gaming. And, the fact that it's getting into both of these fields, or that it is in both of these fields, is pretty interesting. And this could be a possible big play that, one, everyone knows about, but, just in general, it could be one that's slowly accumulated over time and then slowly rise, in the future. So this is one to definitely watch going forward as well, getting into those two big sectors. Other than that, we still have to be cautious about these markets right now. For example, look at some big names right here. For example, Apple is at 118, minus 2%, almost 3% for the day. And it still probably could get to this trend line down here at around 115, 116. But, SPY is acting strong today, but a lot of the tech stocks are not. You see Tesla's going down, Facebook, Google, Amazon. Not that it's down that much, but, all these names are down. And it's pretty interesting to see while SPY's going up that they're actually getting weaker throughout the day. So definitely keep an eye on that and see if we can break over this trend line here. We broke under it the past 2 days, Thursday and Friday, but Friday closing above it. So, be cautious in these markets. We are not sure if we're truly out of, I guess you could say, this mini correction, mini dip yet. So it's all about being cautious and preserving your money while in these times. Other than that, there's not really much else that I truly can think of right now. I've been trying to keep it pretty simple and pretty on point past couple of days and weeks while this market has been a little tricky. So I've been cash and in slowly adding into positions along the way.
Yep. I mean, everyone keeps talking about this OPGN still. Still have a lot of people talking OPGN.
That. Oh, there we go. $4. I honestly didn't even check it. So I still have a position right now. I believe I have 7,500 shares at around, I think it's 346 actually, to be honest. And looks like we just hit that $4 mark and trying to break out of this. Well, we broke the new high today, But the big area now is obviously to break that dollar amount, getting over that 4 range, and then pushing into the 415 to 430 area.
Yeah.
Truly, here would be a good position to cut possibly 25 to 50% of your position and let the rest ride. That would be the smartest thing to do, in my opinion. But other than that, this has turned out to be a good trade, and so far 3 for 3 on the day for this one.
And what about do you trade Apple at all these days?
Apple, I truly don't, but I do watch it, especially with the markets. It's a big leader in the market, obviously, that everyone knows. And like I said, it's still getting weaker. It just got a new low a day while SPY is still rising. So that's pretty interesting to watch how SPY continues to rise, and Apple and Tesla, which were the 2 biggest leaders, over the past couple of months and year, continue to fall today. So there's a lot of, different movements there.
Yep. And there's all the SPACs take capital away, people selling off these names and going into some of the, I bought a couple SPACs on Friday because they're basically trading at $10. And so not much risk. I guess I don't get interest on the money, but I just bought them in case a deal gets, in case a deal gets announced. Yeah, that's what I do. So listen, guys, Bull Trade Finder. You can find Nick there, Bull Trade Finder. You can find ideas, opportunities. He's always bringing them. He traded OPG and multiple times today, 3 for 3. You can find his trades. Comes on the show on Mondays. Gives a little, wisdom. But check him out at Bull Trade Finder, and hopefully he'll help you make more money. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal for, everyone in this game. We're all here to preserve our money and possibly build another income from our jobs or anything else, real estate, whatever it is. So, just hope everyone's doing well, and thank you for having me on, guys.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming on. Again, it's Nick from Bull Trade Finder. Check him out, bulltradefinder.com. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right. Yep. All right, guys. So I think we have Ripster coming on in 17 minutes. Aaron Bree, are you trading anything today? Doesn't seem like it. He's in the chat. You guys know how I bought puts and calls to hedge some positions. I still have my SPY calls on, but I have my long positions on. So when we get, get some direction, I'm hopefully there. My account is basically flat today. Yeah, it's flat. That's what it's at. QR, some of the ones that I have up a lot today. TAST is up 6%. ASO is up. I'm going to move to this screen so I'm not turning my head. ASO is my options, my April 16th, 21 strikes. No. April 16th, $30 strikes on ASO are up 78%. Penn National getting some strength again. I know you want me to look at US Steel. Do that in a minute. SAVE, SAVE, up 7%. I bought a few more call options on Friday on it. Disney, over 200. Disney, over 200. I bought some Disney last week during some downdraft. Bought like another, a little bit more shares. Voyager moving up. Charlie Gasparino just texted me as we're seeing this. AQMS, this is Aqua Metals. AQMS, we bought at 378. It's at 418. Ford, this is a Lukey, gave us around 9 and a 10. GBTC moving up, BCRX moving up, DraftKings moving up. A lot of these are obviously moving up. And then TAP I own. I bought a decent size last week in TAP, TAP. GAN, I own less shares of GAN. I used to own like 1,000 shares. I think I own like 500 now. OSW, I'm not going to sell. Just if cruising comes back. I was going to buy Amazon earlier, but I didn't. Wingstop, that's a mess. All right, what is this? The Stacy just sent? I guess a CDC. Just CDC just put something out. I don't know. I'm not reading this. Okay, so that's what I got. Now you want me to look up steel? You want me to look up US Steel for you guys on Pro? Okay, hold on 1 second. WKHS, yes. I meant to ask Kathy. Kathy will be on TV today at 3, but let me go to U.S. Steel. Hold on one sec, guys. About MGNI because Jack lost. Okay. So let's go on U.S. Steel in 1 second. Details. X. All right. So let's pull up a chart of U.S. Steel. It's up 11% today. I like that. Okay. You like Cleveland Cliffs better? Someone wants to sell an NFT of me. You think that's going to get any market? An NFT of me? Or the first time I wrote an article on Benzinga? I don't know. That's what they were saying. So, all right. So here's our U.S. Steel chart. So we have several basic material companies are trading lower. This one's trading higher, though. We have no item. Okay, let me get to the news desk content. Hold on. News desk. 1 sec. I got not there. Got to go to Slack. You guys know Slack? Yeah. Up 10%. We should get something. All right. Like 10%. We should get something. You see Mackenzie Scott got remarried, guys, to a science teacher. That guy just now is worth a lot of money. So yeah, U.S. Steel. Let's look at U.S. Steel. And let's look at the chart. Let's look at the 3-month. So look at that drop, 6 month, and look at it. I mean, let's look at the volume on this thing. So average session volume, average volume. We're already at an average volume. It's seeing strength, U.S. Steel. I mean, there's a reason for it. With Democrats, a lot of construction, a lot of building is going to happen. I would put U.S. Steel on my watch list. And I know that you guys gave me U.S. Steel last week. So whoever did, thank you. I think I screenshotted it, but I may have forgot. Can someone on Benzinga make a blog post of the lithium cobalt battery guy that came on and list all the tickers? That's a great idea. Can someone write an article on that one? I'm putting that in the thing here. It's a great idea. Yes. Internet Enforcers, I think there is a live thing on benzinga.com. Like it goes launch our YouTube. Yes. So there was a guy, I don't know if it was Tony Faguzzi, but he works in the steel industry and there's a ton of shortage of steel coming in May. He wrote it in several times last week and then today it's up. So the question is, do we buy US Steel right now? Do we make a trade? I'm not sure. Like we should make a trade. I mean, ton of storage. I'll tell who works in the steel industry. Do you want to be quoted for an article or an anonymous? What do you want to do? I'm getting the color from the Benzinga YouTube show from someone who works in the industry. All right. So and let's look at CLF right now. Let's look at CLF. So let's make a trade. CLF. You want Colgate? Why Colgate? Is this really? I thought Cleveland Cliffs is what I wanted to look at. Yeah, I wanted this one. Why did I get Colgate? Okay. So let's look at the chart on this. Yeah. So they're following the same pretty much chart. U.S. Steel and Cleveland. Anyone know why GPL so low with those good earnings? Let's pull that out. Okay. Let's pull that out and see why that's going so low. I am going to go on a GPL move here. 1 second. So this one is such a, small company on a 338 million. It's not terribly small, but let's see filings. To trade, it's a smaller company. Look at the 1 year chart. We're under a penny stock. So, all right. So who's going to buy some U.S. Steel today? All right. And then the other one, I want to buy some Marriott or another hotel. Does anyone have another hotel that I can buy? A luxury hotel that's not as big. I'm gonna pick up some either US Steel options right now, or I'm gonna pick up some stock. There, you guys want me to share my screen? You can see what I'm gonna trade here. Let's go to a 24 option on US Steel. Okay. Let's go to a call option. Let's go to all months. Hyatt Hotels. Anyone else other than Hyatt? I'm not a huge fan of Hyatt right now. All right, I'm gonna buy some. I'm gonna try to buy some May US Steels. May US Steel. Hold on. Let's see if I can get in here on this one. All right. I'm trying to buy some May. Okay, Win. I like Win. That's a good one. All right, I'm buying some call options. May US Steel. I'm putting a limit order in. No, not market. Limit. 145. See if it executes. All right, I put the US Steel call option order in. All right. May could be too soon. Yes. I'm going to check out Win right now and see what we're doing on the charts. Let's go on Win. Let's open up Win. Here, where's my screen? So on Win, Benzinga Pro, I'm checking it out, see what the community says. We're up 3% on Win right now. 52-week high, 139. We're close to there. We should have picked this up a while ago. But I'll play it. I'm gonna what's this? This was 2019. I think it's time to play some Win. You don't like my US Steel buy? All right, I'm buying some Win. Here we go. Buy. All right. 20. I'm gonna do a market order on this one. There's enough volume. All right, I bought some Win. Win for the win. That's right. That's what I'm doing right now. Wyndham, I don't know. Hyatt could be good. I wish Four Seasons. Four Seasons I don't think is public. That's what I would like to own. And let me get to the content. Chubbs, Dustin. You guys should see my screen, please. 2, 4. So I got that in there. I added Israel. Okay, so yeah, so I'm picking up some travel stocks. That's what I'm picking. I want to get into other stocks that are not related. Intercontinental is another good one. So let's check that one up. I'll tell you what I think of. What is it? St. Regis, RGS. What? RGS. Hold on. I don't think that's correct. The company operates segments. No, I don't think Regis Corp. Hold on. I'm pulling this up. No, this is not St. Regis. St. Regis is owned by Marriott. So, no, that's not good. All right. I'm saying no to that. Guys, can you all tweet right now to Ryan Cohen to come on the show? I know where he lives now. He lives in Miami. I was at a friend's house and their kids go to school together. So I should push harder on that one. Can we all say our last guest we had with Kathy Wood? Can we get Ryan Cohen on the show? What do you guys think? That would be good. Can we all tweet to him? Just let him know we had Kathy Wood. There's 70 positions in my portfolio. Okay, Intercontinental. I'm pulling this up right now, the chart. I am going to likely purchase Intercontinental as well. So I'm going to buy stock of Intercontinental. I'm gonna do a limit order. The spread's a little too thick for my liking, so you're gonna see a limit order come in right now. Or let's see if this works. Let's see if you guys see it on. Don't front run me, guys. Don't front run me. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I get executed. All right, what do you guys see for this? What is the symbol? The symbol is what symbol we got? IHG. I'm trading IHG. Oh, we got music. I like it. Whoever just put music. Marriott owns Ritz-Carlton. Yep. So yep. So my order just executed. So I'm the one who bought a bunch of shares at 70.98 of Intercontinental. That was me. Who put on the music?
That was me.
Thanks. It's not copyrighted or anything, right?
It is not copyrighted. We're all good to go.
All right, and I still own BTN, guys. I know you just asked me that. Did Ford hit 13? All right, let's put on. You guys want to see my portfolio? I'll show you my portfolio right now. All right, I'll show it. Here we go. This is one of my portfolios. Ready? Oh, Ripster is going to be here in a minute, guys. Don't worry, we got Ripster coming. Here we go, portfolio. I'm going to stop this share, and now we're going to share. Hold on. All right. Can you see this screen? Let me see if it's too. All right. Hold on. I got to hit share. There we go. Add to stream. So this is one of my fund portfolios. All right. Guys, tweet to Ryan Cohen right now. Yeah, Internet Enforcers, Marriott licenses. We must lower the music a little bit. Marriott licenses its name. It's not really a hotel owner. It's more of people are licensing the name. So we're gonna go here. Yes, my Tesla position. I've been buying puts and selling the position since 864. I can show you my screenshots of what I sold, but I didn't sell enough. I started selling at like 864, 874, and I sold 10% of the position. Tweet to Ryan Cohen, guys. Let's get him on the show. Tell him we had Kathy Wood on. It gives us credibility. So here's kind of what I own. If this helps you guys see some of my stocks, I'll make it bigger. Oh, what is this commercial on here? Okay. So BTN, I'm down on, guys. Curaleaf up 64%. CVI 46%. Disney up 40%. I bought more last week. DraftKings, you guys can see. My options, I don't care about the options as much because they have sometimes a long time. I bought more of this stock here, FGF, but it's a hard stock to buy. It's very illiquid. GAN, I sold off a decent amount of GAN in the last 3 weeks. I started selling at $29.30. I still own it. ITRM, I know ITRM. I don't own it, but I don't know. Why do I know that one? Lithium, guys, lithium used to be like 6% of my portfolio. I sold some of that. Max is that advertising play. It's Media Alpha. I like it, so I own it. I think Max will be up. I think Max will not be down 8%. I probably should buy more Max because I own such a small amount. Maybe I will do that. It just depends. I'll buy stocks options. Workhorse, yeah, I don't think you can go wrong buying some WKHS. It's sold off a lot. But these are like my positions. See TAST, T-A-S-T. Look at that. 400% almost. Sun Communities. I mean, these are Voyager. Okay, let's see. KMH super long for me. Will be groundbreaking even with the buyout. Most hotel chains. Yeah, I don't have Palantir. You guys, you peer pressured me to buy Clove too, CLOV, and I bought it for like a week and then got out of it. I didn't like it. I'm not a fan. I mean, it's fine. I'm just not. I don't know it well enough. Yeah, TAP is Molson. They have this drink that Chris thinks is going to be great, so that's why I bought it. See, all right. Let me pull up Pro and go a couple more trades in. Okay. Hey, Rohan, are you going to tell me when Ripster's here?
So he actually just joined, so he's in the waiting room.
Oh, you didn't tell me. Okay. All right. So hold on. Let me do my thing. All right. So I took you through my portfolio. I'm going to turn that off in a second, guys. But I got to do something else real quick. Hold on. All right. Ripster, how are you today, my man? Oh, I can't hear you. Don't do that to me. I can't hear you. I'm crying.
Can you hear me now?
No, yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. I was crying for a minute that I couldn't hear you, you know. How you been? How's your weekend?
The weekend was good, you know, after the beat down last week, you know. So lucky to have a weekend after such a beat last week.
I hear you. It was crazy last week. It was really, I thought I was hedged because I was buying puts on Tesla, but I wasn't close to enough hedge, you know. So that's why I own Tesla a lot. But whatever, it is what it is. So
TTD and Zoom are the two which wrecked me, you know. Those were one of my big ones. I mean, the tech was really just going down, the spreads and all that. So it will be a while we get back on that tech rally.
Yeah, I hear you. So did you sell stuff, or what would you do? What'd you do?
I sold most of my high tech like Zoom, TTD, you know, those stuff, and rest of them I just reduced my size. But still, portfolio took a good hit on those growth stocks. But that's fine. We'll get back.
Did you sell like all of it, like for Zoom?
No, not my conviction plays, like plays that I know that a high conviction or which were having relative strength, which were not really moving with the market. I actually added them. So I actually added a couple of my conviction plays on the dip, which are nicely green right now.
Which ones? Did you add any Fluent or anything? FLNT, I think you liked that one at one point, right?
FLNT, I reduced my size. I still have that, but
Yep.
there are a couple of I added. There's my new swing that me and my followers are already up 25%, but that's
Which one?
AMPG.
Yeah, up 11% today.
Yeah. So this is a 5G play. The earnings, EPS is growing 132%. Sales are growing 60% year over year. They make these RF amplifiers, which have a brand, you know, broad addressable market across various fields. They had a news yesterday. They launched new amplifiers for satellites. You know, the satellites for SpaceX, Tesla, Amazon. So those amplifiers are going to go there. It's still a micro cap company, growing company, but valuation is so cheap. It's just 60 million micro cap. That's stupid, you know. And these are not like your cheap amplifier you buy for $5-10. These are like $5,000 amplifiers. And the company has good cash. They have 10 million on hand that they uplisted on NASDAQ, and the float is just 2.5 here. So that was one of my biggest swing that I added. It actually didn't even dip with the market. So I'm expecting like a 15 target on that one soon.
Got it. Okay, 15 target. And I did sell some of that Fluent too, by the way. And so I'm on the page and I see it down 3%. What I do find interesting, it has earnings on Thursday after close. So I wonder if they're going to announce. I mean, I can look at previous earnings to see how they've done in the past on their earnings. So in the past.
So the problem when the market takes a hit, right? So an investor tries to get out of all the speculative names, all the names which are growing, right? Which don't have like a lot of history of continuous EPS growth. Any name that is kind of more speculative, still in growth phase, IPOs, they are the ones which take the hit first. Investors get out of it and they go for their safe havens, right? Right now, all the vaccine plays are safe havens. That's why all these plays which are selling for multiples, like TTD, Shop, everything is selling 20 times, 30 times of their sales multiple. And that is the first one which take hit when market takes a correction like this, and everybody tries to run off from them. And some micro caps as well, they are still in growth phase, like FL&T, and the investors try to run away from them, and go to safe havens. But I think some of them, it's fine, reduce size, run away. But some of them, you just need to, build a good position, like IPWR. You just build a position when there's a catalyst coming close, and there's some immediate movement on the name. Those are the ones which I will add. Of course, I will add TTD, Sharp, all those back. But market is not right now. VIX is not settled. So that's what my think is right now.
Yeah, TTD. I mean, the trade desk group, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up 6% today. I mean, it was down obviously from up to 925. Last year. Yeah.
We won't be out of the woods until the tech reclaims the 20 EMA. It won't be a trend. You can't. It can be chopped. And VIX is still hanging around that 25 level. You need VIX at 20. That's when the bullish market is back, and you take all these plays and ride them.
Yeah, I feel like we needed some selling. I feel like it was getting too easy, too fast, and I really, they want me to ask you, do you yes?
ABPS, I reduced my size to 1/4 on the sell-off.
Okay.
Yeah. So see, my thing is I want to see strength, and when you say drawdown, you don't know how much drawdown you will take, right? So it's better to sell, reduce your position when it's in correction phase. You can add double the size when it's recovering. So apps is still under. If you see the 10-minute trend, 50 EMA is still under the 50 EMA, right? 1 hour is bearish. Apps has to reclaim 75. When it does that, I will add double. Rather than adding and holding my big size when the position sells off, I will reduce size to a negligible size, and I will add much more when the strength comes back. When the strength comes back in the tech, in everything, all these are going to pay off. So it's no use just when the market is selling off, just adding to losers and just holding them tight. You just need to wait for strength. I mean, there are exceptions, like I mentioned. There might be few plays which are exceptions with immediate catalysts, but otherwise, no.
Yep. Now I got to go to the crazy ones, right? Ryan Cohen is out there on GME right now, so we're trading up $50, 35% to 186.25. Market cap is over $1 billion, and I mean with debt, it's almost $2 billion enterprise value. Are you trading this GameStop at all right now?
No, I stay away from these meme stocks, because it makes you emotional. You try to long, and then you think, oh, maybe this is the same GameStop that went to 300, maybe double it, maybe add a huge size. So I don't touch them. These plays are hard to manage. They play with your mind. So I don't, I leave them alone.
Yep.
Better risk reward somewhere else. Better not to be greedy. Save your money. So I stay away from that. This is crazy.
Yeah, and I like it was your buddy that we had on with you. Your stock, Dermatech, DMTK. Yep. I like this as a long-term
I love it.
play.
Love it.
What do you say?
We love it. This Dermatech, and it's again market curve with tech and high. This is a high growth explosive stock. These are the first ones to take the hit, but these ones will be first ones to run multiple points when they come back. So Dermatech, sorry if I interrupted you, Jason. You were saying something?
No, I talked to two dermatologists on it, and one is very, 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 very smart. Like she's consulted by the biggest companies in the world, and the technology they have is real, and and like it can be sold in different ways. But she's very impressed with that technology. She knows the CEO. She's talked to the and she's impressed with it. So I have Dermatech on my watch list here. I haven't picked the shares yet. I plan on to.
50 is your level, psychological level 50. And market trends, and then we'll add the double size there.
Yeah, I like this one. And what happens is people are looking for the quick bucks. Like if I traded like that, I wouldn't have made any money. I mean, so many of my positions have taken 6 months to happen. So many of my like when I bought Upwork a long time ago, Ripster, it didn't move. It went down actually. It went down for like weeks on end, and then eventually when it had earnings, it took off. So I like this DermTech as a long-term holding. I mean, I don't know if that's how you think of this one, but I think it can be.
No, it's a long-term holding, but I want to ride the trend back.
I hear you. I hear you. And then okay. So what are? Go ahead. Sorry. No, I want.
No, I understand your point. When position trading is you just accumulate on the cheapness or weakness. I do the trend trading even on the long-term plays, like I told last time. Buy on strength, see a level, sell a little bit, keep the core. It dips back and the core back again. But right now, a lot of these have lost the uptrend, so I will wait for uptrend. But the thesis is the same.
So basically, if I could summarize your trading right now, you're trading a little bit lighter right now. You're trading, you're waiting to see an uptrend, so you're trading lighter. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, I don't go for like, oh, it's cheap. I go for buy high, sell higher. That's my motto, right?
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, that's until you see what's doing. So what are, I know you're the one we mentioned earlier, the, I don't know. Yeah, that one's taken off. Are there other ones that you're, after today?
Yeah. If you want, I mean, IPWR, I mentioned it before too. These are the bi-directional switches, right? That goes into all electronics and EV electric vehicles and everything. So they're revolutionary B-trend switches they are making, and which is multi-billion-dollar TAM. And this is one of my high conviction plays. It actually dipped last week. Some, I think maybe some fund might have liquidated, but it dipped, and then we got it at $13, and it's up. It's up at 16.50 right now, 17. It's still cheap. I am tomorrow. There's a B Riley present conference where they are presenting. They would be talking about their revolutionary tech, and I'm expecting some other major updates this month. And this was a $25 right stock, and so my target is still 25.30. And technically, there is a downtrend channel break at 18. Once that channel breaks and the market is good, I expect it to move back over $20-$25. We are still profitable on both of these since I alerted to buy last Friday, but this is just a start. I haven't sold a single share out of these couple of positions, right? Because I want the best risk reward. So
yeah, no, this company seems interesting. I'm going to have our team reach out to them so that they can speak at our small cap conference.
Yeah. Tomorrow they have a B Riley 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, this one. Go ahead.
That's how you have to find the winners when nobody is in them. You have to find the winners when the funds don't know about them, because funds cannot buy the winners because they are under certain micro cap, under certain float. The funds cannot get them. So when you find these winners early on, and you can make a money on early on, then it gives you buffer to hold that long term, right? So look at apps, APPS. It was a $5 stock and nobody knew about it, but it was showing the growth, and now it's $100. It was $100. I mean, now it's down. So you have to find this, like this one. It's revolutionary tech. It will change the switching. The AMPG that I mentioned, once 5G and 6G are mainstream quantum computing, AMPG will blow the top off as long as they're growing their sales and everything. So my thing with these couple of play is the getting in early, revolutionary tech, and as they grow, ride them, take some off, add again, and then maybe just leave them in IRA. But there's also ride the trend.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And this IPWR, I mean, that's the thing. You got to get in these things. Like we had GMBL. You like GMBL?
Yeah.
You like yeah. So
GMBL is the one that was actually doing pretty good last week.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull that one up. Okay, so let me pull up GMBL. So GMBL, we had them on our small cap conference at like $6, and now let's see where we're going. GMBL. So GMBL Esports, yeah, it's down a little bit on 14.
we
what was postponed? Oh, he was going to go on Fox Business. Okay, I don't know why it was postponed. Let's gotta find that out.
I thought the CEO was coming somewhere, right?
What?
The CEO was coming, right?
He was going on Fox Business, and then it got postponed. See right here in the news here, it was postponed. So I'm not sure why, but I can find out. I can call the CEO and find out what's postponed.
Yeah.
I will find out. You can see me email him live if you want.
Yeah, this again taking the heat with Nasdaq, broke the daily uptrend line, but when this rises, we'll be back in again on this one.
Yep, I mean, and I'll have earnings in May. So look at that. Yeah, GMBL. If it executes, that stock can be a serious winner because it has a lot of things going for it. We also had. Have you played in Fubo at all?
I have very small position in Fubo.
So we had the CEO on Friday morning. So here he was, and CEO was good. He was definitely good. He knew his shit. We asked Spencer Israel interviewed him. We asked tough questions, and he knew his stuff. This one I think is going to take a while to really get going, but I mean, gambling is here to stay. It's here to stay, and it's only going to get larger. Right?
Yeah, and like you see DKNG, Penn, and all that, and this is not just regular gambling. This is esports gambling, which is something new.
Exactly. It's esport gambling, and they have bought some other companies to, they bought some other companies that will allow them to go faster on that thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever traded Yatra?
No.
YTRA. It's like Indian.
I heard about it. Yeah,
search engine.
Book tickets and stuff. Yeah.
It was moving. It was moving for a little bit. Got to the threes. Now back at 2. All right. So what is the next one that you're looking at? What is there? Look up.
I like FLGT.
FLGP.
T.
Okay, T or
T as a tango. FLGT.
I got it. All right, so we're up 5% today. Shares are trading higher. Strength reported a strong guidance last week. Okay, so 12 healthcare. Why do you like it?
I mean, the EPS grew 600, 700%. Latest earnings. Just check their latest earnings. Let me.
I'll pull it up.
It's a hyper growth stock. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I loaded it at 52 and went to 189 last earnings. And then most recent earnings, it, let's see. So EPS grew 3,400%, right? And the funds are adding. So there are 245 more funds that added in December, up from 180 funds. And the revenue is growing. How much is it? Revenue is growing 3,400%. And EPS is also exponential. It's off the charts. So we had it at 88 on Friday, traded up to 100, took some off, and I couldn't add this morning. But yeah, this is another one long term. Again, these are high growth tech names. They will take heat as long as Nasdaq is taking heat. But once the trend changes, they'll be gone.
Yeah, this one seems interesting. Genetics play, and it's probably off to the races. Genetics is going to be, for the next 2 years, one of the most talked about things. DNA sequencing, genomics. It's not going to stop. I mean, there's a company that I know, the founder, Tempest, $6 billion valuation in the private markets. This is, I had not seen this one. So FLGT, this is interesting. They have real numbers too. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm adding this to my watch.
I mean, there are many names right now. I'm just waiting for the market. I have my focus list. It's better once the market is in trend. I mean, we'll do another session, and then we'll talk about those more, because right now everything is weak, and I don't like to buy them cheap. I don't care. I want to see the strength. So let's see what Nasdaq does. So what do you think about markets, Jason? What's your thesis here?
My thesis is this way. I had to write my note down. I didn't see it saved before. Okay, it did save. All right. So what I think right now is there is indiscriminate selling. Like people are going to sell because there's so many SPACs coming out. The SPACs hurt the market because it's people sell stuff to get into other ones. I mean, you see it in the mortgage market. I mean, 3 other mortgage companies filed to go public after Rocket is successful. And so that hurts the market. It reminds me of the late early 2000s when every company was going public. It scares me. Ripster, I have 6 friends that have SPACs now. Like when I say friends, like good friends, they have SPACs. That's how easy it is to set up a SPAC. That's concerning to me. You know, so that is my biggest issue. If somehow the IPO market, SPAC market slowed down, I would be a lot happier. I don't like when there's a huge, you know.
I mean, SPAC is also taking heat right now. I mean, all the high flying SPACs are down too. I understand your point. There are a lot of these penny stock companies. They want to get SPAC, and there was one which ran 900% last month or something. So I understand your point. Like everybody is going in SPAC, and a few months ago, I would say a lot of people thought SPAC is an easy money. It's no longer an easy money, and it's getting trickier and trickier. And again, you know the reason why the SPAC is also taking heat right now. It's a speculative names. These are before the fact. They are the possibilities. They are the potential, but they are not what's happening right now. That's why people, when it sells, people are selling SPACs and they are going for the safer havens.
Yeah, and so is that what you? So that I mean, until I see something different, I mean, I don't know if the stimulus does it, and then the whole inflation discussion is another issue. You know, that's another issue, Ripster, because
yields and all. Yeah,
I'm just looking at skills. The guy sold some short this one, but
it's a good name though. It's a good name. Skills. I like skills.
Yeah, so I see right here. You won't be able to see me share the screen. Wolfpack Research put that out there just now. So it's here. I'll stop the share. So yeah, that's the concern with all the all these SPACs, and then the inflation discussion. So right now, to buy a house, it's very hard to find supply. It's very hard. The markets are just going up. So there's a lot of vacations. If you want to book a nice vacation right now, it's hard to even get hotel rooms available. It's hard to get airlines. So something has to give. And then you have the stimulus. So the problem is when the market starts going up, then they start talking inflation. So what's that mean for the market short term, Ripster? Like, what's that mean?
Regarding what?
What's that mean if the market goes up, then they start talking inflation? Is the Fed going to raise rates? Is the Fed going to raise rates? Does that keep bringing the market down is my question.
I don't think the Feds are going to raise the rates higher than this.
I don't think so either, but that's what keeps happening. They keep saying, inflation. And so that's what I think keeps bringing the market down because of rates going up.
But inflation compared to what? Last year at this time, or we were, everything was closed. Nothing was selling in the stores, right? But
True.
If it will be higher than last year, but overall in the scope of the higher things, over the years, it's still okay, right? So I don't think that's going to be issue. If you compare to COVID times, of course we'll have more inflation, but in the longer term, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I just don't know if like CNBC or whoever is talking the market down, but because they keep talking about inflation. That is a little bit of my concern.
Yeah, that's bullshit, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then,
that's what we want, right? We want the economy to open up. Everything is opening up. The companies, these corporate profits are going to increase. People want to get into the stocks. That's what we want, right? Of course, yields are, I think that's fine. But the whole point of economy opening up and people and the corporate profits going up is the stocks are going to go up, the growth and all that. So it doesn't make sense what everyone is saying, and I don't get it. I think it's just a cycle. It's just a cycle. It's the normal cycle. Tech is taking a beating. It will, it will reverse. People are going into vaccine plays. Everything will go to mean, revert, and it should be fine. I personally don't think there's anything to panic right now, but I hate this chop what's happening right now.
Yep, I hear you. Do you ever trade EXP Realty, EXPI?
That's one of my favorite too. EXPI was my another one of my Twitter alert, went from 50s to 90s, 142s, I think. So I'm just waiting. EXPI, ZG, FTHM. Look at FTHM. These are four names you need to have.
Which one? FT what?
Fanta, Tango, Henry.
Yeah, I got HM. Yeah, Fathom Holdings. I got it. Okay.
So these are four names that you need to keep. If you are trading EXPI, you need to also keep an eye on FTHM. These are online realtors websites. These are growing exponentially. When the things turn up, FTHM will be 100% from price right now this year. EXPI will be 100% right now. I don't know how more. Zillow can be another 30%. Maybe Zillow will go back where it was when they reported earnings. So these are the four names you need to keep eye on if you like EXPI.
I like this.
Yeah, I can tell you the numbers on FTHM.
I did not know this one.
Yeah, this was also one of my play from 25s on Twitter last year, and a lot of people made money on this one. It's I'm just trying to find their latest earnings, but it trades very thin and it's low float, so moves fast.
Yeah, so I interviewed the CEO of EXPI last week.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I had him on for about I don't know, about 45 minutes. I asked the whole business model, like how it works, how the affiliate, so I definitely asked a lot about that. Another stock I may look at. I don't even know. Hopefully it's still public, but like fun Cedar Fair, is that public still? Outdoor amusement. Yeah, look at that. Wow, look at FUN. Look at that chart. Oh, I missed it. Darn it. I was been thinking about it for like weeks. FUN. This is like Cedar Point outdoor amusement park stuff. People are going to go outside, enjoy amusement parks. This is a no-brainer.
Does it? Oh, slow. ATR is just $2 is ATR. Okay.
ATR?
Yeah, I always look at average true range of the stock I'm trading. If average true range is like 1 or under 1, I don't care about it. I need a good fast mover. This is not bad. It's setting up nicely.
Wait, which stock did you say though?
You said FUN, right? Fun?
Yeah. Then you said something else. A something.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. I thought you did. So yeah, a fund is up 2%, up $1. I mean, but I'm looking at the chart from 6 months ago.
Look at FANG, FANG, FANG.
FANG, Diamondback Energy.
Yeah.
Why do you like this one?
I mean, I'm out of it now, but we traded it last week. So you see the 75 breakout at 75, the flat top breakout. That was, it was a technical trade, and it was showing strength when the whole market was showing weakness.
Got it.
So I believe if it comes to 75, we can grab it again and see how the market.
Got it. Okay, Okay, so I see what you're doing here. So you were looking, and that ATR was the average true range of that stock, Cedar. Is that what you were saying? Fun.
Yeah, fun is ATR is not bad. It's $1.5 or something.
Yep. Yeah, it's so funny because when you're talking technicals, I'm always on the fundamentals and don't, even though I don't look at the technicals, and I know I should. I use technicals sometimes for when I'm going to sell, but I mostly trade investing based on the story and not the technicals, which I know you do.
Yeah, no, I combine everything, so
Okay, now
best of everything, and it works out really nice.
Got it. Now, one guys, Follow Ripster47 on Twitter if you don't already. And Ripster, we're making a page for you on Benzinga. It's like Ripster's rules, your rules of the game. Ripster is one of the best out there because he's always giving, right or wrong. He's always giving, and he has his rules of the game. So we're making a cool little thing and a video graphic for him. You'll like it, Ripster. We're surprising you with something very soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. But there was one question that are there any resorts or hotel opening stocks that you're looking at in the space?
Yeah, I think I was looking at Las Vegas Sands, LVS.
LVS, okay. All right, so LVS pulling up the chart.
But it has to get over 65.
Okay.
Yes. Win is another one. LVS Win.
I just bought some Win as we talked. Was that a bad move? I literally just bought it.
You'll be fine. You'll get a breakout over 138-ish or something. Then you'll get 150 quick.
All right, so LVS. I didn't know if you had found any like small cap ones that are out there too. That's what I was,
I mean, a lot of them have already ran SPR.
Got it. All right, what's this one? PLYA. I don't know this one. Playa Hotels and Resorts. I never heard of it. PLYA. Never. I'm not. 2.2 market cap billion. Could be something. PLYA. Someone put it in the chat.
Oh, Play.
Play, yeah.
It's the Dave and Buster's.
No, not Play. PLYA. Playa Hotels and Resorts. Here, I'll put it PLYA.
I see it. 750.
I don't know it. I just.
It's same chart as Win and LVS. They moved similarly. 750 an hour. His Playa will move.
Got it. Okay. So you're not making big bets in these kind of stocks until you start seeing the technicals shape up.
Yeah, I mean, vaccine plays, I think I was missed aboard. I was riding too much tech, and they all ran in last month or so. But again, I will look for consolidation at highs, and then I'll take a trade, see what we get. I was trading NCLH last week. That was a nice breakout. NCLH, but it fell off after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Norwegian Carnival. I have a stock OSW. They run the spas on cruises. So I was looking for a derivative play. So it's One World Spa Holdings, OSW, and they like run the spas on cruise lines. So I've owned this one for a decent amount of time, probably like 5 months now. Hasn't done much until recently though. It's if cruises come back, OSW will go up.
Right.
So that's my cruise play. Because I think cruises, I guess people will book them for sure. I mean, with the vaccine and stuff. How is the vaccine getting circulated where you live? Are most people getting it who want it?
No, in Canada, Canada is short of vaccines.
Got it. Here it's starting to spread, but not as fast as what would make the market move up. So I don't know. So that's what you got going today. So to sum it up, Ripster, you're taking smaller positions. You sold off some of the riskier ones, let's say. And a spa one that I used to own is Express Spa. They're in the airports. They have the like massage, manicure, whatever. That's XSPA. It's a small cap company for sure. But
I know about it one.
Yep. This one, a lot of them are still closed. I've done check-ins. Ripster, I wanted to buy this company out when it was like at 80, 60 cents because I think they should change their pricing model to a subscription. So if I travel, I pay like $25 a month. I get one free, whatever. And, a lot of people won't show up and use it. Instead, they charge like $40 for a 10-minute massage. It's not the right pricing model. So I was like, this has so much. If they change their pricing model, they would, are you doing any crypto stuff?
No, I stay away from crypto.
Got it. Okay. So those are all right. Anything else? What'd you say?
While we were on talking, it seems like Nasdaq take another hit.
Yeah,
And recovery every day, man.
it's crazy. Today we started off strong, and then takes another hit. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities from this. You just have to keep your powder dry, right?
Yep.
I mean, I got in some more today. Maybe I regretted it. I got in. Maybe I'll regret it. I got in a little bit more. I thought we could see a Tesla. Sorry, Alex Blummy, for changing subjects mid-sentence. I thought we could see a little Tesla bounce today, but no. Ripster's socials are Ripster47. They want you to come back to Dallas, Ripster.
Oh yeah, I'll come back.
Yeah. And then, all right. Well, any other pithy or smart comments, advice you want to leave the listeners with? Because we know how much they love you, man. Everyone loves the Ripster.
No. I think my only comment here is I know a lot of people lost a lot of money last week. Everybody lost money. My portfolio also took a big hit. That's part of the game. And and if you are trying to if you are buying to try a dip, just wait for the trend to confirm. Just wait for the strength, because the market right now, the VIX is very high. It's still not settling. So don't hurry into any trade. There will be a lot of opportunities. Don't think that, oh, I'm waiting, oh, I will lose, oh, I have to grab this dip, I would never get it. No, it's not like that. If you wait for the strength, when the strength comes, you will, even if your size is a little larger, your risk reward will still be better and you will be making much more. But if you're trying to find this Nasdaq dip and you're thinking, okay, let me grab this is cheap, you don't know how long it will chop, and you don't know, your risk under where you're going to put it. If it breaks, then it's going to hit you further hard. So probability is less when you buy on the weakness, and there is a weakness in tech right now. And watch your 1 hour charts. See, if you're trading intraday, watch 10 minutes charts, follow the key EMAs, just follow a risk reward. Just, it's a cycle rotation. It will pass. We have seen it before. Just don't hurry into anything. That's what I will say, right? That's why I'm taking very little trades. I'm just sticking with my conviction plays for now. And just be patient. And if you lost money, don't think about money you lost in last week or last 2 weeks. Money will come back. Just look what were the mistakes you did. If the next time Nasdaq tanks, what can you do better, right? Let's say your portfolio was down 50% last 2 weeks, and you did some mistakes. Don't think about that you lost that 50%, right? You think, oh, my money, I have to get my money back. You will never get your money back, right? If I lost some money last week, I don't think about getting the money back. The money is gone. I'm thinking that I will not repeat the mistakes. Next time Nasdaq takes a hit, I will not repeat the mistakes, right? I was buying Zoom, I was buying TTD, I sized more, and it was a big loss. Few of my mistakes, right? I could have just stuck with my, some other plays, some penny plays which were running. Just some things that you learn out of this cycle. And market is not going anywhere. Market will still be here tomorrow, day after, next month. There will be drawdowns in the market and trends. This is a market cycle. So just learn from what happened last week, and just be patient and focus to implement all the good points, and then that's it. Just focus.
No, Ripster, your advice is very much appreciated. Some of the comments are, Rip is the most rational voice out there, dropping knowledge like bombs here. Great interview. We love you, Ripster. And then I wanted to read one other one that I can't find now, but this one person just wrote a very nice thing about you. He's very calculated and wise to follow his path. So, what you do is awesome, and you talk common sense. And when you just turn on the TV, sometimes you miss that common sense. So that's why we really, really appreciate you coming on, because people get to hear your common sense and they don't need to freak out. They can reduce positions. And when the trend starts going back and being your friend,
yeah,
they get in, like you said.
Yep.
Right?
I appreciate it, Jason. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, man. Thank you. Have a good day. And we'll talk to you when the market turns.
The next time we meet, NASDAQ is an uptrend.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Or we'll have to buy you new chairs back there.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ripstar. Appreciate it. Talk to you later. All right, guys. That's a guy that talks a lot of sense, and he's great to have on a day like this where, some of our portfolios are troubled by what's going on in the market. And hearing someone that has experience, he's an engineer by trade and has a lot of background in this and studies really hard his trading. So I personally appreciate him coming on. I really think he does a great job explaining things in a down-to-earth way. So I really appreciate it. I'll read some of the comments. Skill improvement. You should teach others. Oh, Internet of Forces. Look what he wrote about me. I don't know. I didn't pay him to say this, but look what he wrote about me. He goes, "You do a great job interviewing. Just the right amount of skill, improve and experience, or improv, I think you meant to say. Improv and experience. You should teach your other hosts. Long live, may all good karma." So yeah, that's a story. Now I don't know what show is on next. Spencer, what show is on next right now?
I'm glad you asked. First off, how's my audio? Wrong mic.
Right. It's good. Is Biotech at 2:30?
No, Biotech's tomorrow. What's going to happen now is I'm going to bring on in a few minutes Jake Wujastic from TrendSpider, and he's got some really, really cool charts. He's going to walk us through. He's basically got. They came up with this unique chart. This basically a visualization of a VWAP, but it's not VWAP. It's called a teardrop or a raindrop. I always say teardrop. It's a raindrop.
Wow, that's amazing. Look at Emily Davis. My portfolio is green. Most ideas come from Benzinga in some way. That's awesome. I wish I'd listened to yours. Ash Invest. Jason, don't listen to the night. You're doing a great job giving the service. And a couple quick housekeeping items. That I know some of you subscribers to the YouTube channel get maybe too many alerts with videos. I'm working with the team to space out these clips. Some of them don't need to be released right away. They can be released on the weekends, but you shouldn't be getting 40 notifications a day. Yep. I saw a few of those comments. I thought I got that. We fixed that last week, but it seems like maybe we didn't. So working with the team to, at the most have like a couple clips a show, but they could have a more, but they don't have to, if they're evergreen type clips, they don't need to be released that day. They just need to say when they are. Evergreen means like they can last longer than just that day. This type of is not seen in other trade channels. You should have 80% viewer like ratio. Thank you, Internet Foresters. Wow, he is very nice today. All right, so that's sweet, Spencer. TrendSpider has some great stuff.
Then after TrendSpider, I've got my ETF show. That from 3 today it's going to be at 3:00, but going forward, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it'll be at 2:30. And I've got a manager of an actively managed tech fund, and the fund is not ARK Invest, and the manager is not Kathy Wood. It's another active tech ETF manager who's competing with Kathy in the active ETF space, active tech ETF space. And his name is Bruce Lee, and he'll be on at 3:10 with me. He's from Esoterica. The ticker for the fund is WUGI. And then we've got Pre-Market Prep at the close, and we've got the Benzinga Pro happy hour. So that's the slate for the rest of the day. Jake Wujastic should be in. And
guys, we're working on getting you a show schedule. There's a lot of changes happening.
Lots of changes.
We have a lot more shows that are starting this week that you'll see with different hosts that we think can bring light to the market. So we're trying to give you guys a home that when you want, you can come check us out live. Right now we're about 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. live. That could change. So just keep that in mind. And we're gonna keep changing improving the schedule. Then you guys should be able to see the schedule daily. So yeah, he did say Bruce Lee. I was gonna say something too about that, but I didn't. Thanks, NCal. Ads and sponsors is my guy. I agree with a variety of guests is what makes a channel great. And then Yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, Internet Enforcers. He wrote. He wrote. How is that Ding Dong Bruce has 1,500, 10,000 viewers, and we have 1,500. You give such free unless you don't stuff your face. Okay. Yeah, we don't have a money thing. People, aren't doing the contributions, but he's referring to Bruce from Chicago has that money thing on top to donate the stuff. This might be too taboo topic. Austin Henning asked, but does Benzinga make money? What do you mean? Do we make money on here, or do we make money in general? I don't know what your question is. So, Austin, if you give me what your question is, and I'll give you the answer. Yeah, Austin, you could be a chat mod. Just just email powerhour@benzinga.com. Yeah, I don't know. I think we have embedded, or maybe we don't have embedded video clips on our website. Spencer, have you told Jason Chubbs to link to 10 to 20 videos a day?
Yep, I have, but I have not followed up about it. So that's on me. I've told them, but I haven't followed up.
You're killing us, man. They keep saying it. This is Spencer Israel's thing. Look at the comment. Because then we'd have people linking. It would be because like Bruce has 10,000 viewers, and we bring on guests. We do all this work for the show. We have these videos. We have look at this stuff.
I'm not even sure. What was that? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm just showing. We have all this nice, beautiful graphics and stuff. We should have.
Where are you right now, Jason?
In my house.
Oh, why is there like a lot of weird noise? Like there's noises.
Well, no one said anything during the show, so I just kept it. The way it is. But there's, I think there's sanding the floor somewhere in that office.
You think? You're not even sure. You think?
I don't know what that actual noise is. I think that's the sanding of the floor or some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, the production value. You guys, I mean, look, come on. This is how hard we work on this stuff. Oh, yeah, we have Jake in 1 second, but watch what we do. Ready, guys? This is another thing.
We should bring on our guest then if we just played the video.
Yeah, yep, that's exactly why I did it. And I got to take Internet Enforcer's feedback to the support. Internet Enforcer, send me the link to where you're seeing that problem.
Yeah, I didn't quite see. I don't know what the link he was referring to. So,
yep.
Help us out with that. All right, let's bring on our guest, Jake Wojastik from TrendSpider. Jake,
hello.
What's going on, man? I saw you went for a nice long run over the weekend.
I did. It was beautiful.
I'm not stalking you, I swear, but you tweeted about it.
Nice long run. I mean, in Denver, you get 30-degree days, and then you get 65-degree days. So it's nice to, nice to get out there when it's nice. I think today I'll do that again, and then it starts snowing on Friday. So
probably clears your head too after a week of just staring at charts, right?
Yeah. Yep. No, I got lucky last week. I got to ski, and then I got to go on a couple runs after that.
Not
so
fair.
I'm pretty happy with it.
Not fair. All right, Jake, let's bring on your charts here. Share your screen. We can see what you're looking at. I guess let's just start broad. What are you looking at today?
Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, so I am really looking at these names that have still been just absolutely destroyed, but that are value stocks. So your Walmarts of the world, these stocks that are just have no reason to drop like they did over the last few weeks or so. Yeah, since February. So I'm looking at like your Walmarts of the world. I'm looking at these stocks that are likely going to do well from this stimulus. With the 10-year the way it is, it keeps going up. That's not good for growth stocks. And on top of that, a lot of these growth stocks are just so overcrowded that they just continue to get destroyed. I respect Kathy Wood a lot. I think she's great. But I think it's gotten to the point her transparency is actually hurting. And a lot of these stocks that she's been entering and adding to are getting so overcrowded that they're becoming just so bloated with people that are just so, oh, Kathy this, Kathy that. I don't even know I'm in this stock, but Kathy's in it, so I'm in. And then they keep seeing the stock go down. That overcrowding of these trades is just so evident, and it's really been happening for a couple of weeks. I mean, nothing against her. I think she's great, but there's a lot of names like PLTR, like SKLZ, that are just continuing to get hammered because I think they're overcrowded, and this type of environment when the 10-year is ripping like this and it's still going up, that's not great for growth stocks.
So you're looking away from growth into value for now, right?
Yeah, Walmart. I like Macy's. I don't know if you call Macy's value. I think it's a crappy company.
I would call. Yeah. Well, okay. So like,
when I say that, I mean I don't think it's a great company. I do agree it falls in that position, but I've had some interesting experience with Macy's with our new house, and they just they didn't do anything great for me. But the chart looks amazing. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to trade Macy's because I don't like it as a company. If the chart's there, I'm going to trade it. So this is one that I love right now. I love the anchored volume by price. You can see there's a ton of volume holding at this area, acting as a nice base for price to move up.
Wait, hold on. Explain that anchored volume by price concept, because I'm not sure if a lot of our listeners who watch in the afternoons are familiar.
Yep. So the anchored volume by price. So if you're looking at regular volume, you're looking at volume as a function of time. So at the bottom here, you can see that all of these volume bars represent 1 day of price. Of price and volume action. Now, on the right-hand side, we have the volume by price, which is measuring how many shares are aggregating or distributed at each price range. So you can see here, generally, like how you use the anchored VWAP, you anchor it from a pivot point, you anchor it from some type of capitulation point. In this case, for me, I'm anchoring it here from December 22nd, because this is when the trend changed. So obviously, we've been in an uptrend for a while, but this is when the pivot occurred and we continued the trend to the upside. So for me, starting it here, I want to know, since all of these people who were in and were long and probably either took their profit or whatever the case is, from this point in time, from $10 up to 22, 24, where are these shares holding? So we can see that since that point in time on December 22nd, there's a lot of shares holding right in this 15 to about 1575 area. And you can see what happens is, as the price is kind of aggregating here, everybody's holding at break even. So this creates a base for price, because all you need is supply to dry up, meaning that all of these people who are break even just need to stop selling, or who knows, maybe you have some people up here who bought at 21, 22 and who are finally capitulating. Once that supply is dried up, then you have this really strong setup here. And like I said, it's, a lot of people look at these companies, they look at PLTR and they're like, oh, this company's great, all that. But if you're a technical trader, that really shouldn't matter. I mean, if the chart is not telling you that the price action is looking as a probability, at least to the upside, it doesn't matter. Now, there's plenty of reasons why maybe you'd want to hold PLTR over the long term. But for me personally, I'm trying to trade these patterns. I don't care what PLTR is doing. If it looks bad, then I'm not going to hold my position. So that's an example. I was been in and out of PLTR quite a few times over the last month or two, and it's just not looking great. You have, so if we go to Fubo real quick,
yeah.
Anytime that you have, let me go to the session candle here. Anytime that you have a wick like this, and let's just get rid of this. Anytime you have a wick like this, Friday looked really strong, but still it was a red candle. So, but just based on the wicks. But anytime you actually open within this wick, that to me is not a strong indication. You had your perfect kind of trap here and then just a breakdown. So to me, anytime you're going to gap down into this wick, you're likely going back down to at least this wick below. So you see that in Fubo. Fubo's already a little ahead of the game compared to PLTR, but you can see PLTR is doing the same exact thing. We gapped down into this wick. We had this little fake out here. And I mean, to me, that doesn't scream bullish. So, from a technical perspective, and if you're trading, you want to trade high probability setups. And, there's a lot of people in here that are just very emotionally connected to or attached to some of these growth stocks. And to me personally, I'd rather look at what looks good on the chart. I mean, Walmart has gotten beaten down here. But, Walmart's one of those ones that if the stimulus is going to do what it's supposed to do, Walmart is probably not going to be hurt. On top of that, it's not just that perspective. You also have this technical perspective where from this high here on the 17th, you have quite a bit of shares aggregating here. You have what's called a volume gap. The volume gap is what I've gone over quite a few times. I think on the pre-market show, we were talking about that volume gap on CRM, and it filled it pretty nicely a couple days later. So what I'm looking for, the volume gap is an area where there's not a lot of shares holding above. So we can see since the 17th, this area right here, the shelf shows us that there's quite a few shares holding here. Now there's also quite a few shares holding at around 130, 131 to 132. Now what happens is if the price gets back up to this area, let's say 131, imagine that you bought Walmart a little early last week. You just dealt with a 3 or 4% drawdown on Walmart if you bought it here at 131.50. Well, now if the price gets back up to where you bought it at, you're back to break even. And some people are going to say, well, I'm throwing the towel. I'm back to break even and I'm getting out. And so that's why I have an alert here. So I'm looking at a possible quick move up to this volume node right around 131. And then you're going to run into those people who are back to break even, which are likely going to add supply on the market. So you have to use these volume areas as an area of, is this break even demand? Is this break even supply? In this case, we can see that these shares are pretty much break even right now, but the price is starting to catch a little bit of a bid. But all of these shares up at 131.50 are holding at a loss. So this would be a target above to see price kind of maybe stabilize a little bit. But here, where I have this highlighted, there's nobody holding here. There's very little shares holding in this window of around 129.60 to around 130.75. So what happens is you don't have a lot of people that are back to break even until you get up to that 131. So the price is able to move very quickly through this gap in price. So that's what I'm looking for on Walmart. So it's a technical setup, but it's also one of those plays where it's been beaten down. This is something that should respond to stimulus. You got the S&P 500 up almost at 1% at one point today. So I think this is going to catch up, and I think it's lagging the overall markets right now.
All right, I have some questions, but let's just go to the chat instead. Lester Ortega asks about NEO.
NEO, another stock that so many people are so emotionally connected to. I'm not saying that to offend anyone, but there's so many people that just are it's your NEOs of the world, it's your PLTRs of the world, it's your FUBOs of the world. There's just too much emotion connected with these stocks. Same thing, we gapped down into this wick. Where do I think this is going? Well, probably right back down to at least this wick below. Just like if we gapped up into a wick, let's say we look at FUBO, right? On the weekly chart a couple months ago, right here, same type of thing, except on the opposite side. You gapped up into this wick. You did pull back a little bit, but you opened in this wick. And then what happens? We go to test this wick above and we overshoot it. So you can use this philosophy both to the upside and the downside. Anytime that you're really gapping up into a wick, you're generally going to test that previous wick again. So, to the downside, I think NEO is going to retest those lows. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not here to predict the future, but you're just taking these setups and just seeing what's happened in the past. But yeah, I don't like when you gap into that. Let me go to the session candle. Sorry, because the daily will show a little differently. But yeah, I mean, NEO, SKLZ, all of these stocks have just kind of had a cult following, everybody thought they were just going to continue to go up, and then on top of this technical setup I was mentioning where we gapped into the wick, NEO is up still from March. 1,500%. If we anchor the volume
last March.
Last March. If we anchor the volume by price here from this March 19th low, you can see that we're kind of entering this void, this volume gap that I just talked about on Walmart, except the opposite, where it's a volume gap to the downside. We're in an area where we don't have a lot of people holding right now. This is the volume gap. It's an area of low liquidity. And you don't really have another area where a lot of people are going to be back to break even until around 27, 28. So right now, anytime that the price is in one of these gaps to the upside, you're generally going to resolve to the upside until you get to that next volume shelf above. And just like in the downside here, you're going to likely resolve to this next area. And just imagine, right? You're holding at $27, maybe $27.50. You're still up 30% from your entry. You're likely probably going to say, this doesn't look good. I'm going to take my profit. And if enough people start thinking that at the same time, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, a waterfall of supply on the market, because there is still a lot of profits there. So
can you zoom out? I would imagine there's a lot of overhead supply. Or maybe zoom in. I'm just curious if there are people that are now underwater in this thing.
Exactly. Yep, that's a good point. So we're going to keep the anchored volume by price from here. You can see that, and that's a great point, Spencer. Thank you for bringing that up. Anytime that the price is below one of these shelves, it's going to act as overhead supply. Why? Well, if you bought NEO at $45 and now it's at $36, if it goes back to $45, you're going to be back to break even, and you're probably going to consider just selling and moving on. And you're probably not the only one thinking that. So these areas act as a level of supply above, because all of these shares are now just got done holding at a drawdown. Now they're back to break even. They're probably going to sell and exit. Anytime the price is below, I'm going to call that break even demand, because this is where this was initially a demand zone. This is where people came in and accumulated the shares before moving up. So all of these people, the price is likely going to at least stabilize for a little bit if we move down here, because now all of these shares don't have any more supply or any more profit to sell. So they are adding to the supply until it gets back down to where they're break even. But you also have to consider, look at how many people are holding here. Another shelf. This is at $13. You have a lot of people holding at a profit here. And the market moves in waves and tides. And, these were really kind of poster child bull market companies, but they're not always going to be like that. No different than, stocks in the early 2000s, your GEs of the world were incredible stocks. And then for the last 15 years, they've done nothing except go down. The market moves in tides. And so is the tide changing on these growth names? Well, they're certainly very overvalued. So that's something to keep in mind. And then if we were going to look at NEO, I'm going to turn on the gap snake here. I like the gap snake because it just highlights these areas that are gaps below, so I don't have to go search for them. So you can see here, we have a price gap below around $10. We have a price gap below here around $21 to $23. We have another gap below here around 28. So, the beautiful thing about doing analysis on something like NEO is I have no position. I'm not short. I'm not long. I'm just looking at the chart. So hopefully it kind of allows people to see, my unbiased perspective here. Could we continue up? Sure. But we're going to run into a ton of supply, as you mentioned, right around this 45 area above, where a lot of people are now underwater.
For those asking, this is a volume profile. Jake, is this on Thinkorswim, this indicator, or this study?
It is. I mean, the volume. So I wouldn't call this the volume profile, because the volume profile has another kind of part of it. This is volume by price. So we're literally just measuring since a specific point in time, where are these shares holding and aggregating at. Now, what's unique on TrendSpider is the ability to visually move this. So you guys can see this vertical dashed line. As I move this, we're measuring the price from wherever I anchor it from. So let's say that we want to know, since we topped out on January 11th, where are majority of the shares holding? Well, we can see that there's a lot of shares that have aggregated way up here. There's a lot of people underwater since this January 11th high. So the ability to move this visually and just say, okay, I want to start maybe from, this gap up here, or I want to start from this capitulation point in March. That's what's unique to TrendSpider, and that's what we aim to make a lot more efficient. Because if you go on Thinkorswim, I'm pretty sure the volume bars are the opposite way. I think they're pointing to the right instead of into the left. So you can't really see what the price action, how it's responding to these shelves, because it's pointing the other direction. So that's something I like on TrendSpider, is it does point towards price. So you can see how price is interacting with these levels. And then on top of that, the ability to visually anchor this from whatever point in time you want. You don't have to go in and say, so there's a couple ways this works. Either the volume profile on a lot of these platforms is simply going to start wherever your first candle starts on your chart. Okay. But why would, that may be a really random candle. You generally want to anchor or start your volume by price or your anchored VWAP from points where there's a reversal. So in this case, we're anchoring it from March 2020 because that's when the market capitulated. And that's when all of these buyers are, maybe these people who were selling are now buyers. Maybe these buyers are now sellers. The only way I can describe it is the status quo changes here. And so you want to anchor from resets. If you guys really want to learn more about anchoring, I would definitely recommend Brian Shannon, who's the founder of Alpha Trends. I didn't even know what anchoring was until he taught me this a few years ago. So, and this is something I use all the time now. But essentially, you want to anchor from these points in time where the status quo has changed in the market. And that's why we're doing it here. That's why it would make sense to maybe do it here from the high. And you can see, if there was a capitulation event here from the highs, I would expect a huge volume profile here, because now all of these shares up here capitulated and now they're being allocated way down here. But you don't see that yet. So it tells me that these shares are still holding at a 30 or 40% drawdown. So to me, the capitulation hasn't kicked in yet. I mean, I think NEO's been a great one to trade to the upside, but it can be a great one to trade to the downside too. And I think there's a lot of people who are so ingrained about bullishness in the market going up. I'm generally very bullish on the overall market, but with growth stocks right now, I think they got way too overextended, and they're nowhere near, valuations that they could hit even in a few years. Some people would argue that, but that's just my opinion.
Hey, look, for the last year, valuations haven't meant diddly squat, and they don't matter until they do matter. And the question is now, are we at a point where fundamentals and valuations matter, or is this merely a hiccup in the long-term growth story? And we don't. Yeah. No one knows the answer. But at least for the moment, it valuations are mattering.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at TNX here, which is just the 10-year Treasury yield on TrendSpider,
mm-hmm.
Back in March of 2020 and even February, the yield was around here,
mm-hmm.
and we just tanked. So when money is really, really, really cheap, then growth stocks do really well because you're getting a return on those things. But as soon as you have the 10-year start ripping like this, which mm-hmm. essentially is if you look at even where it was earlier this year, it's almost up 60%. And that really ruffles a lot of different business models. I have a friend who is in the loaning business, and when interest rates are going up, let's say that you want to get $100,000 loan, the interest rate goes up from where you were originally going to get that loan. Now you may only get $85,000. So this definitely hurts growth stocks because money becomes more expensive and growth is not as easy to come by. So this is why these value stocks are doing better, because they're at least some type of reasonable valuation, and you have dividends from value stocks.
And that's the bottom line, right? In a rising rate environment, money today is worth more than money tomorrow in an inflationary environment, right? That's the bottom line. And so, no one's quite sure if we're going to get this inflation. It seems like maybe the bonds are saying yes, but too soon to tell. We don't know. Bottom line is we don't know. But the market's saying, hey, it looks like that could be happening. Tickers are flying here from the chat. Speaking of overhead supply, someone dropped in Hyliion, HYLN.
HYLN.
Yeah, I would be really curious to see where the volume is, at what prices the volume is in this one, because you look up the chart and it seems obvious. Oh, there's a lot of people stuck at 30, 40, 50. But I'd be curious what your chart says.
Yep. So this is one that I was trading for a while. I was actually in a position trade.
Me too.
I was selling covered calls on it, so that lessened the blow quite a bit. So I did take a loss on this one in the 1540s.
Okay.
Now, same thing as we just talked about NEO, right? Like if we did get a bounce here, we're going to go right into all of this overhead supply. There's a lot of people that are still holding their shares. So the volume shelf, and this is a fallacy about the volume shelf, is the volume shelf can't break down. Yes, it can. People can just start selling at a loss. So the fact that you've got this huge shelf here should not be like a game changer to, if you hold or not. My thesis was holding here because generally a lot of the time you will have a little bit of an undercut here of the shelf. So if I can get rid of this thing, I'll just keep it here. Generally you'll have a little bit of an undercut like this. So when we were undercutting, I was like, but the thing was this is where kind of the fundamentals came in. HYLN literally is still almost a demo product. So as much as I loved HYLN and thought it was great and the technical setup was there, not only was it breaking down, but all of these growth names, all of these names that have such a valuation assigned to them that does not reflect what they actually can provide today, that you've got a breakdown just like we saw. So it wouldn't shock me, to come back and retest this area where a lot of people are holding it at a loss, and then they're going to be back to break even here. But the SPAC world has gotten a little out of control. So it's hard for me to even, to get into this stock with the market we're in. Interest rates rising completely changes the entire game. A lot of people are arguing that interest rates are going up because the economy is getting stronger. But think about this. If interest rates are going up, that is going to then hit people who are trying to get these loans. Like I said, let's say a month ago or a month and a half ago, you were almost approved for $100,000 loan. Now the interest rates are absolutely going sky high relative to what they were. They're going up 60+% in less than 2 months. That's going to hurt people who are getting money. Yeah, sure. Everybody just got a stimulus check for whatever. That's, I don't know, some of these numbers where people are talking about, oh yeah, that can hold people over until May. I don't know what country they're living in, but $1,400 isn't going to do much, especially in Denver at least. But, when you have that type of thing, imagine mortgage rates. That's going to hit mortgage rates. And so this is a ripple effect across the market. It's not just like, oh yeah, the treasury bill went up. That affects all facets of lending and all of that. And, this has been an issue back in 2015, 2016, where they were talking about raising interest rates, and
and they did.
yeah, and the market was literally going up on any type of sign that the economy was doing worse. Why? Because that means that interest rates
would go down.
Yeah. And then as the market as economic strength numbers were coming out, it was actually hurting the market because there was a better chance that they were going to raise rates.
Yep.
So I think we're in that same environment where a stronger economy is actually hurting the market, or especially growth names, because that entails that interest rates will likely go higher. And it's just weird. It's this weird, like, opposite of what you would expect thing.
Hey, it's the old bad news is good news is bad news. And then this sort of gets to the other edge, the other side of the coin of a market that's been carried by a handful of super high growth mega cap tech companies is Tesla. When the environment starts to shift. Look, like GameStop going to 1,000 is not going to move the S&Ps, right? But an environment that starts to shift away from growth tech, and like the largest companies in the market are all growth tech, that would really move the market.
I agree. I mean, Tesla's another one. I have nothing against Tesla, but I do think it's a little concerning how emotional some people are about their position in Tesla, which I get. I mean, some people are up thousands of % on it, which I think is awesome, and more power to them. But there comes a point, like you said, where these fundamentals do matter, especially in an environment where rates are going up. Tesla doesn't have a dividend. Some of these high growth names, Fubo doesn't have a dividend. PLTR doesn't have a dividend. Why would you hold it then if you've got, rates going up elsewhere? You go into these dividend stocks where at least it's still beating what the 10-year is doing, or some of these other government bonds. So same thing here. If we anchor the volume by price on Tesla from this March low, your next level where a lot of people are going to be back to break even is way down at 420, which is kind of ironic. But compare when you kind of go back and see what Elon first said funding secured was at, but that was pre-split, or
that was hundreds of dollars ago.
Yeah, and so I'm not even sure what 420 is at this point.
I think it was a 5-for-1, right? So that's what, 2,000. What is that? $2,000? Did I do that right?
Well,
yeah, 2,100. That's what that is.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point, and this is where we talk about zones.
Oh, I'm sorry, I divided. I
multiplied.
Divided. The opposite. I'm sorry. 420 divided by 5. That's 84.
Yeah, it would be down there. So this is why you have to look at these areas as a zone, right? So like we have shares from about 400 to about 450, and like anything in the market, there's no precise level. Like you can't go in and be like, oh yeah, guys, the next level of support's at 445.83. It's a zone. Like there, you have people that get margin called. You have people that sell a huge market sell, and there's nobody to absorb that supply. It's going to move the market more than right to the penny. So I would say for Tesla, a general zone would be 400 to 440. I know that's a 10% kind of margin of error, but that's kind of where I think this is going. I mean, look at it. Same thing. I just think we're going to retest at least 530s in the coming day or two. That would be a huge drop, but you can see the momentum is starting to build on a lot of these names to the downside. I'm not sure, like PLTR, same thing, 2274, we're hitting new lows. Like momentum is definitely starting to come in. And then you go into your names like this. Macy's is now up. So what's happening is the money is rotating from these growth names to your Macy's of the world, to your stocks like GE of the world. I don't know what GE is doing today, but I would assume it's up. Yeah, it's up 4%.
You assumed right.
So yeah, it's just this classic rotation is happening. And like there were so many people that were talking crap about GE. Sorry, I don't know if I can say crap, but
yeah, you can.
Way down at $6. And it's just interesting to see how that tide has turned. If we go to the monthly chart, I mean, GE Let's anchor the volume by price from the top here. And you'll see that, this is a great case study on that volume gap I was just talking about with Walmart, right? So, and this hasn't really changed. You had a lot of volume holding here at 680, and you had this volume gap here. There was barely any liquidity above, and you can see how quickly the price was able to move up through this area. So anytime you have a volume gap to the upside, it's kind of going to act as a vacuum up. Anytime you have a volume gap to the downside, it's going to act as a vacuum down. And you can see here that it did take a month or two for GE to get through this area, because remember, everyone who was holding at $10, some people said, well, that was a fun ride to $6, but I'm back to break even. I'm getting out. And you have some of that supply needs to be digested by the market. And then you have this shelf, which initially acted as supply, acting as a launch pad for price. And that's exactly what's happened on GE.
I'm surprised to see that much volume in GE down there.
And it was like this for, it was really interesting because, GE was one that I had my eye on for a long time. So my wife and I bought a house, and the account I was managing, a lot of that money went to that. So it kind of sucked to sell GE when I did, but it was, we bought a house. So that was money to use towards that. But, even look at the houses in Denver. You can't even find a house these days there's no supply. So it's really interesting to see where money is flowing. And it will be interesting to see if rising rates will hit the housing market. Because I just talked about this with my buddy who I was snowboarding with on Friday. He's in the loaning industry, and he was like, yeah, all these people who were about to get loans for this now are, not getting nearly as much as they thought. And it'll be interesting to see how much that really messes with the overall housing market and growth stocks, because growth stocks are in debt a lot because they're working on growth. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. But, GE, Boeing, even I think Boeing's was doing relatively well today.
Hey, if it's got a low PE or it's been, gotten the crap kicked out of it for the last couple of years, it's up. It's basically the takeaway. Jake, can you hang out for like 5 or so more minutes?
Let's do it.
Okay, I have to run, but I'm going to leave you in the good hands of my producer, Rohan. Producer Rohan is here. He's backstage. And we'll do a couple more questions. Actually, I'll leave you with this. Question from Volcan in chat. So we talked about Macy's, Walmart, GE. Do you believe these are long-term trades? I'll leave you with that.
I think they're trades until they don't become trades anymore. It depends on what type of trader you are. For me, if I was looking at Macy's, this is just like what we were talking about on PLTR. If we have this high up here from around 22, 23, let's say 22, 25, $22.25, I can see the volume. I can see the price just vacuuming right back up to that point. Once we get to this point, that's when I would say, okay, we'll have to reevaluate. Maybe at this point, because bonds are being shorted at some ridiculous rates right now. If there's a short squeeze in bonds, that means the price of bonds is going to go up, and technically the interest rate should go back down. So who knows? Maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, this whole interest rate increase thing cools off, and there's a short squeeze in bond prices and rates go back down. And then you just have to take it at this point in this market a day at a time. You really don't know what's going to happen. 3 weeks ago, everybody thought Fubo was going to $100 after earnings, and that didn't happen. So you have to take what the market is giving you. And, from there, you just have to look at the overall picture. If growth stocks are looking horrible, then it's probably a good idea to think about maybe that money is still rotating into Macy's and GE and some of these other names. It's really about the tides. The tides go in and out. And this is something one of my best friend's dad, who used to be a trader on the floor, used to teach me. The market is like tides. If money is flowing into something at one point, the tide's going in. But as soon as that tide's going out, it can be pretty powerful. And that's what you're seeing on your Teslas, on your PLTRs, on your Fubos. Anything that doesn't has a ridiculous PE right now is just getting destroyed. So Macy's, I'm going to look at Macy's until it doesn't look good anymore. But for now, you've got your volume shelf, you've got your ascending triangle here. Notice that I've created more of a zone rather than just an exact area. But if we break out of here, this previous high is going to be my target above. So to me, if we look at what that is, that's another 30+% upside. And if you look at where the gap is above, I'm a big gap trader. So I'm looking at, what are these gaps above, below? You technically have a gap way up here in the upper 20s. So, that would be something I'm looking at. Just like if you look at Tesla, you have gaps below for quite a while. If we turn on the gap snake here, which is just the automated gap detection, this chart looks like Swiss cheese. You've got a gap down here at 131. You've got a gap down here at 170. You've got a gap here at 240. I don't want to count all of them because there's too many. So, at some point gaps fill, not all of them fill. You can go on the S&P 500 and you can see gaps that still haven't filled from like 2014 or earlier. So I'm not here to say that we're going to go fill the gap on Tesla at $88. Definitely not saying that. But there's a lot more gaps to the downside than there are to the upside. And that's something that I think is worth noting. You don't have any gaps currently to the upside. You've got these weird wicks on Tesla. You see this sometimes, and this isn't just a TrendSpider thing. This is on other platforms as well. I don't really know how these wicks are formed, but you don't have any gaps above right now. So gaps are something that really help me kind of see things a little clearer. So for Tesla, you've got your main gap down here around 412 to 433. And then NEO, I think we talked about is even down in the low 20s. So, we'll have to see what happens. But all in all, I think the main point here is that growth names work in a very low interest environment when rates are dropping. But as soon as rates start going up, that money that these growth names need to get to the next step gets more expensive. People start going into dividends because, technically some of these stocks right now still have dividends that are higher than what, some of these fixed income rates are. So it's a search for yield, and yield can be fixed income yield, such as like a dividend. You get a yield from that. A bond, you get a yield from that. With growth names, your yield is just your actual capital gains on your position from it going up. So it's just the tides are turning right now. And, even though these stocks are down 30 or 40%, if we're really, and this is what happened in the dot-com bubble, rates started going up. Well, when rates are going up, nobody wants to hold on to a growth name anymore. So that's what you're seeing here. And as Spencer said, all these names have been beaten down. Boeing. Do I think Boeing is a great company and that it's going to go back to where it was? Probably not. Maybe it will over time. But it's still so beaten down that you have to look at the gaps above. You do have gaps below on Boeing, which is something to consider. But, you look at the airlines, right? You look at Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is back to where it was back in February. And you can't tell me that the amount of people flying is the same as it was before this pandemic hit, but it's just the overall, where is money flowing? And it's where is the market seeing growth in the future? Well, if the whole economy is opening back up, it's probably going to be airlines. It's probably going to be restaurants. What's Cheesecake Factory? I hate Cheesecake Factory, but it is cheese. I think it's cake. I don't know. I think cake is Cheesecake Factory. I don't know what Cheesecake Fact is, but same thing. Restaurants ripping. all of these opening names. So it's really not about like what you like, it's what the market likes. Because at the end of the day, the market really doesn't care about anybody's opinion. It cares about where's money flowing. And right now, it's impossible to deny that it's flowing out of growth and into these more value plays, these opening plays. When I say opening plays, I mean the economy and the world is kind of opening back up. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I wish there was a way to see like the chat. So, oh, I guess there is. Travel, yeah. Cheesecake Factory. Hey, you know what? The cheesecake at Cheesecake Factory is good, all right? I don't have anything wrong with that. I just don't like the actual food there. I went there like last week. My margarita was pretty much a glass of orange juice, and the food was subpar. But the cheesecake was really good. So, you know what? I'm not gonna talk too much about Cheesecake Factory. NVDA. Since there'll be less travel for a while, would that not help love? It doesn't matter what the market's doing now. It's what the market's anticipating. So the market's anticipating that the economy is going to open back up. People are going to travel more. So that's where money's flowing into. It's not necessarily that people are not traveling right now. It's what are they going to do in the coming months? And that's what the market is kind of pricing things at. It's you look at technology, and think about what the market did for months after we bottomed. Technology was ripping because the market was anticipating that nobody's going to be traveling or everyone's going to be at home. And so for a while, the tech stocks were ripping. That didn't mean that these tech stocks were seeing that type of growth right that second, but the market was anticipating that growth for the months to come because it was anticipating this COVID thing was not going to be settled by, let's say, August or October. So now it's kind of a laggard on what the market expects. HD or Lowe's, I have no idea. Home Depot, same thing. This is a name. This is more of a value name. Between Lowe's and Home Depot, I think it's up to you. Lowe's has actually held better than Home Depot, I think. So they're both in the same type of industry. Here's an example, guys, for the volume shelf. So notice here that the price was below this area, and now it's starting to move back into this area, and it's starting to slow down a little bit here because the market has to digest a bunch of this supply. However, if it gets through it, then this could act as a launch pad for price, like what we saw on Macy's or other stocks like that. Look at Hog. I have to go here. I have to go here.
No worries, no worries. What's up, Jake?
I gotta head out. I got another thing here in a second. But yeah, Hog. Hog has a big gap above. It's holding pretty well. So I'll leave it at that. If you guys do want to try out TrendSpider, the automated gap detection, I didn't touch on raindrops much, but there's a lot of things you can use on the platform. BZ25, that's B as in Benzinga, Z as in zebra, 25% off any plan. So we also do have a sale going on right now. So you probably actually get 30% off if you go to TrendSpider on Twitter. So we have both of those, the BZ25, or if you want to use the coupon code for the 30% off right now. Thank you guys so much for having me. As always, I always enjoy coming on. And thank you, Rohan, again.
Of course. Thanks, Jake, for coming on.
Hey, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right, guys. Pushing you to the next show, we have Spencer, who was on here a little bit earlier. He is actually right now on his ETF show that he just started. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and you guys will be transferred to the next show, which is going to be Spencer with ETFs. All right. Thank you, everyone.